Check 1 2 1 2. We loading up right now. I'm not sure if we're there yet, but I think we live right now. I think it's time to blast off.
It's time
to hit that crack cocaine.
None for me.
Let's go.
Let the ceremony begin.
Countless battles, I walk with no shadow.
Yeah.
Desert in sandal, the ghost with the candle. King of all crowns, rip the rattle off serpents. Blood I thirst, since I am the worst.
Follow your footsteps, you have no footprints.
I am the surface, you worthless purpose. The moon, the stars, I'm connected to darkness. Heads of marksmen, I've hunted the farthest. Village of troops, Molotov the roofs. Black Sunday service with Holocaust roots. Homo Kabbalah, black magic and balas. These AKs and hollows will leave you forgotten. This bottomless season, you looking for meaty Mussolini, Gaddafi, the world cannot stop me. I'm legend, remember me?
Gifted since birth, you were delivered in a hearse. Your mother and your father trade your soul for a curse.
I'm a soldier, coming at you like a locomotive. Never knew I navigate the culture. Service at the tabernacle potions.
The devil made my father, little spirit set beside me. My mother was a slave to 3 witches on the island. Ever cheat death? Ever wake up and can't catch one breath?
Master of obstacles, the Nostradamus. I structure the continent, the director of operas. I swing my arms, I move the seas. I change the weather, 500 degrees. The god of chaos, I shed no pity. Come over for the seance.
Hey, kitty, kitty. The ruler of your conscience, yeah. In your head, I'm a monster. Take control of all your options, yeah. There's no way you gonna stop this.
The ruler of your conscience.
Yeah, yeah. Where you gonna stop it?
Check 1 2 1 2. Is everybody in?
What up, man?
Is everybody motherfucking in? Welcome to Hoodstocks, the best podcast on the motherfucking planet. You can bet your bottom dollar on it. Or maybe not. We have our days. Sometimes we're good, and sometimes we're really good at being really fucking bad.
Hey, don't jinx it, bro. Don't jinx it.
Yeah, yes, sir. Today's show is sponsored by a South Central LA clothing brand called Grimey Boys. You see the shirt right here? Peep game, peep game, peep game. You see that right there?
It's pretty fire.
Yeah, that's Grimey Boys right there. And if you like what you see right here, you can cop your shirt or apparel at www.grimeyboys.com, and you can follow them on Instagram at grimy.boys. Once again, at grimy.boys. Okay, making sure everybody can hear me right here, because last time there was no fucking volume and shit, you know? Guess there's volume. I think we're good. Today's show is also sponsored by Manscaped. Do you get clowned? Are you known in the neighborhood as Button Dick? Is that you? Check it out, my G. Set the record straight with these felines. Trim your shit up. A clean presentation might give you an inch to an inch and a half of hang time. www.manscaped.com. Use promo code HOODSTOCKS and get 20% off and free shipping. www.manscaped.com. How'd you like that shit, dog?
You know you're making it when Manscaped sponsors the Padres and Hoodstocks, bro.
Real shit?
Real shit.
Oh shit, damn, dog.
I seen them at the Padre game in the background, Manscaped. I was like, damn, they're really putting Manscaped in the background at a Padre game.
Hey, keep your shit trimmed up. Keep your filled.
You got a pubic turtleneck?
Do you got a pubic turtleneck? I swear to God, I'm gonna have fun with these Manscaped fucking things, dog. You know what I mean?
Should, man.
I'll have a different one every fucking time, dog.
Until they tell you no.
Yeah, I mean, when they reach out to me, they said, hey, they call me Lucky, right? They're like, hey, Lucky, we don't care how you promote it. We're good with everything.
Right.
You know?
I'm sure they are.
Yeah, right?
Sure
they would if they would have to be fucking with Hoodstocks, right?
Right.
You know? But anyways, they had given me a couple script papers. They said, you know, if you want to see what other people are doing, here you go. And they showed me some emails and some shit. I'm like, nope, we ain't using that. Anyways, today's episode is number 63. I've known this homie close to, 18, 19 years we've known each other.
Sounds about right, man.
Yeah.
Probably more.
Yeah.
Maybe 20.
Yeah, for sure. His family is my family, but not all families are perfect. I don't know why I'm talking like this today. We go through, sometimes we go through some things. I'm not proud of every moment of my life, but that's life. You live, you learn, and hope to get through it. Baby Jesus. Since I started this podcast, I always think of inviting individuals I know personally because I know their story, right? We homies. We you know, but not all the time do I reach out. You know what I mean? I'm not sure if this fool wanna, whoop de whoop whoop. But this time I did. And he said, you know what, my boy? When you first started your podcast, I thought about coming on and telling my story.
I did.
He did tell me that, right?
Yeah.
So here it is. Everybody, give it up for my G, Scott.
Thank you, my boy. Thank you, my boy.
Yeah, dog. Thank you for spending a Sunday with me, dog. With us.
For sure, man.
Yeah. Thank you for. I mean, you are kind of like I would say, knowing you're a very reserved individual.
You wouldn't be the only one to say that, probably. Yeah, I am. But we could open up sometimes,
Yeah. I mean, you're pretty like, keep shit close to you, huh?
Right.
You're not too, if people checked out your Instagram, I mean, you're not posting every day. You're not posting every week.
I went 2 years without posting on Instagram. From 2017 to this year, I think I went 2 years without posting on Instagram, man.
Yeah. So that tells you a lot about an individual. I mean, some people, they don't need that type of attention. They're not worried about those likes.
What's 20 likes, bro? 30 likes, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, 20 likes, I mean, it just depends on the individual and what their expectation is.
Right.
20 likes can fuck someone's day up. 100 likes can make someone's day. I don't know. It depends on their expectations on how many likes they feel they should get, which is unfortunate that sometimes a like or an amount of likes can control how we feel about ourselves in the world. Like, man, fuck these motherfuckers. They don't know how great I am, or they can't see through this picture how beautiful, female, right? I am,
Got to hit them with all the filters. You got to, and I feel bad for, not even, I mean, we're 40s, pushing our 40s or whatever, and what about the generation? What about our kids? They're going to grow up even deeper into the social media game where it's going to be even more relevant to their lives, and it's going to be more probably demanding on their emotional well-being and stuff.
Yeah,
so I think about that sometimes.
Can you pull that a little close to you, my boy? A little closer, dog. Thank you, brother. Just like that. Yeah, I want everybody to be able to hear you nice and clear. But yeah, no, 100%. Like I noticed with my with our 13-year-old girl, Emery, she like sometimes you get in trouble when you get your phone taken away. I mean, and in this day and time, especially with no school, no really people, they're not having that interaction with each other, with their classmates, with their peers. You know what I mean? You take that phone away from them, bro. It's like fucking.
Game over.
It's like death.
Yep. Game over. It is, man. That's unfortunate, That's unfortunate, but it is what it is, too. I mean, because we're at a stage now where you can't even really, with all the shit that's going on, what are you supposed to do? You can't tell your kids, I got boys, so they're a little bit more on the video game side of things. Can't tell them they can't play video games all day. They're fucking home all day long. What are you supposed to do? How many books are you supposed to read a day? Go play some fucking video games. It is what it is.
Maybe I think that's why I think I might need to get a fucking well, they like to play Roblox on their phones and stuff like that, but maybe I need to get like a PS4 or something, bro, and just I'm afraid to get something like that though, dog, because of my own well-being. Because I'm
no more podcasts.
Yeah, I'm gonna be stuck on that fucking video games, bro. Like I get weird on shit these days, dog. You know what I mean? Because I'm if I'm not working, bro, I'm a pretty much a homebody, especially in this era that we're living in right now. I'm a homebody, dog, and it's just fucking. I don't want to get strung out on some video games, but I might just have to do it for the kids, dog, to give them something different than their phone, bro.
Hey, let them look up at the TV once in a while, right?
Fuck,
I'm gonna have that neck, gonna be 30 years old with the neck all hunched down, bro.
Yeah, no, 100%, bro. But just on what we were talking about, on you being like a fucking reserved dude, you don't need the attention. You're just kind of like or would you say you're kind of a little emotionless? You have a kind of like a callus built around you?
Yeah, I would say so. I would say probably. I wouldn't say I'm emotionless. I would say that it takes a lot for me to show emotion. It takes a lot for me to like really, you know, break down and or even on a different level, like anger. You know, it's gonna take a lot for me to get pissed off to the point where you like, damn, that fool's fucking pissed off. You know what I mean? Like, that's not every day for me. You know, but I make my way through it by being passive aggressive as fuck and sarcastic as fuck.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, you know, everybody has their counter on how they deal with life sometimes.
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, that's been my thing. You know, I've still fucking 38 years old getting in trouble for being passive aggressive. Fuck, man, I'm a grown ass man. You're gonna tell me, do you know the tone of your email, Scott? What the?
The tone of an email.
The tone of your email.
The tone of a text. I get it. I get it sometimes, bro.
I get it. I get it,
But what a trip that we in this. I mean, I guess it's just like a letter, you know, like the prison time that I've done. You know what I mean? Sometimes it sucks, dog, to get a fucked up letter. You know what I mean? Like you can tell, like, oh, she didn't feel like writing this fucking letter. You know what I mean? This letter, she's just like, you know what I mean? So I guess when it comes to, I mean, of course, you know what I mean? You can. I was thinking about it, but of course you can feel someone's vibe through words. So,
but you can also project what you think their vibe is through their words without really knowing what their vibe is too.
By a what do they call it? A preconceived notion.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like if I read it back to you the way I was thinking it, it might not have the tone you were thinking about. You know what I mean?
100%, and then that stems down to basically the relationship that you have with that individual at the time. If you guys are going through something or whatnot, you know, I don't know, bro. It's just.
I remember one time, dude, in 7th grade, bro, I had a gym teacher, and she was like this weird fucking lady, bro. Like, I don't know, she was just a weird white lady. I went to middle school in South Pass, so I was South Pass Middle School. I was a Tiger Cub. Right.
Yeah. Shout out to the Tiger Cubs.
Right, to the Tiger Cubs, bro. They're still rocking it right now.
Yeah.
But some shit happened. I don't know. And my mom had to come in and talk to the teacher, right? And she goes, I don't know what it is, but I think your son gets pleasure out of making me feel uncomfortable in front of the class. And that shit stuck with me because I kind of did. You know what I mean? Like, I kind of did. I'm not going to lie. But at the same time, she was trying to teach us the electric slide. You know, and it was like 1993 or some shit, and nobody's trying to learn the electric slide. Yeah. We're just trying to skateboard and just do our thing, you know what I mean? So it was funny, and that's kind of like, I always kind of think about that nowadays, and I go back and I go, you know, she called it back then, and it's kind of been kind of the similar situation, you know, throughout my whole life, where I'm not saying I get pleasure out of making people uncomfortable, but I don't give a fuck if they feel uncomfortable with my dry sense of humor. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, maybe that's why we get along, dog, because sometimes I know people that are like that, bro. And so me knowing that they're like that, bro, I will throw shit out there, dog, just for the reaction. You know what I mean? Just knowing damn well, you know what I mean, that they may not like what I'm about to say right now, you know?
It takes a lot, bro. It takes a lot for me to get like too, you know, amped up about some shit that somebody said. You know what I mean? It's like, whatever.
You know, sometimes I got a homie of mine, right? And his old lady's on, you know, she's on the heavier side, dog. You know what I mean? And sometimes I'll be like, what's up?
What's his name?
No, sometimes I'll be like, what's up, big dog? And she goes, oh, big dog, huh? And I be, what do you mean? I call everybody big dog, you know what I mean? But but at the same time, it's just kind of funny, and I'm just playing, dog, you know what I mean? Yeah. You know, because I got mad love for them both, dog, you know what I mean? And you know, she's not on the heavier side. She just, you know what I mean? Whatever, dog. But I just put that out there. My bad, dog. But anyway, passive aggressive. I mean, the PE teacher, dog. I wonder what her panties smelled at the end of the day, dog.
You don't want to know, bro. You could probably smell them from the front row of that electric slide. You could probably get a good whiff of them.
Is that right? Damn, like a nice fucking fresh yeast infection. Jesus Christ, bro. Yeah, like so I bet she peeled them things off and then cottage cheese with just fucking.
She was definitely older, bro. So it was definitely some curdled.
Some kernels.
If there was cheese, it was dingleberries in there, bro.
Jesus. I mean, nothing like a sweaty, shitty ass. You know what I mean? But anyways, brother, yes, this vato is weird. Thank you, Andrew Martinez. We love you too, my G. You know what I mean? Shout out to Gangsta, what is that? Gangsta what? Gangsta Mac, the fish. Oh, you gotta love the fish. You know what I mean? San Pedro Fish Market. Chow time. But anyways, brother, I appreciate you coming on and you know, like I said in the beginning, you know, like I've known you for, you know, too many fucking years. And I thought about you from the beginning since I started this podcast. But me knowing you, of being a little, you know, in the reserve side, you know, I wasn't too quick to hit you up and seeing if you wanted to come on and, you know, just kind of share your story, bro, because it's a wild one, you know. And the other day I just said, you know what, I'm gonna fucking ask the homie, you know what I mean? And you were fucking good to go, so I was like, fuck it, let's make it happen, dog.
Yeah, I mean, let's do it, man. I mean, why not? You know, it's definitely, you know, it's a story that's pretty unique. You know, it was wild. It was pretty normal. Then it got pretty wild, and then it went back to, you know, everyday life after a while. But there was a big chunk in the middle there that was pretty crazy, bro.
Yeah. So, you wanna take off in this story, brother? Where do we start from?
Well, I mean, so everything was pretty normal, I would say. In my younger years, under 11 or 12 years old, mom was a single mom. Dad was in and out of jail. I would definitely say, you know, in the 80s, my dad was definitely a victim of the war on crimes that President Reagan initiated. You know, Dad was he was affiliated. He never would really admit it, but he was from the Highlands in El Sereno.
Okay.
You know, and the Highlands is a small hood. You know, a lot of my family's, that's where I grew up, you know, in the early days. So that's a lot of my family out there. A lot of them in El Paso now. But, you know, I never figured out what they called him. I don't know if they called him anything. You know what I mean? So he kept it pretty close. He was kind of like me in that sense, where it's like, yeah, maybe I'm doing this and that, but I'm not going to make that, you know, too well known with my kid. You know, I'm just going to kind of go about my business. And in all honesty, bro, like I said, in and out of jail, bro. All the way up until I was about 16 is when he came out and stayed out. You know what I mean? So that's really when I started developing a sort of a relationship with him. But by that time, shit was already going down for me. You know, so I was already full on rebel mode when Dad got out. You know, so for me, shit really started to get interesting. Probably, I would say around the age of 11 or 12, in that neighborhood. I would say, let's see, I used to go up to Washington for summers or winters sometimes, and my mom was married to somebody, and he was a decent dude. You know, I look back on it and I say, you know what, dude was a decent dude. There was shit that I didn't like about him at the time because he was stepdad and he was a little bit of a fucking dick. But at the end of the day, I know, you know, he put me in sports. He tried to get me, you know, into a routine of doing shit that was normal. You know what I mean? So I appreciated that. But one year, dude, I came back and fucking homie was gone. He was just fucking gone, bro. And I didn't really know what the fuck happened. I guess some shit had popped off while I was up in Washington spending the summer or whatever. And you know, the story I got from mom was that he booked it and cleared out the bank accounts. And from that moment on, it started the fucking the downward spiral. Like the money was gone, the man was gone, the stability was gone. You know what I mean? So shit started to get a little hectic around that time. I didn't really know what was going on at first. I just know we were getting a lot more visitors. I know mom was a lot more active on going places than she was when she was married, you know, hanging out with different people who we knew. It wasn't like these were new people to me, but they were definitely people that were more prominent in the everyday life after he left, you know, that I could say. So I would say, let's see, like probably like 12 years old, man. Just out of nowhere, bro, mom moves this fucking chick into the pad, bro. And I didn't like this chick right from the beginning, bro. I didn't like her right from the beginning. She came in the pad and she was like total like fucking butch, bro. She was butch out the game. Like she was missing teeth. She was missing the whole 9 yards. Like she had one tooth in the front, bro, and she called it her meat pulling tooth. It was her meat pulling tooth, bro.
Jesus.
Yeah, bro.
That was
she
a good one.
fucking gum it up, bro, and just like get that meat down. Like, you know, fuck.
What What she look like, bro? Besides the teeth, did she? You said
She
butch.
was-
Did she have the like?
Well, she wasn't butch like in the sense of like dyke butch, but she was butch in the sense of like she wore 501s and flannels, and she was probably, I don't know, 100 pounds. She was like skinny as shit, bro. She looked like a fucking twig. Fucking stringy ass red hair, sucked up ass face. Yeah, she was blown out the game, bro. She was just like way out there. So, I mean, she came into the picture and just kind of turned shit upside down, bro. Like, this was now all of a sudden somebody who I'm supposed to be fucking respecting as an authority figure in my house, who I've never even fucking known before.
But why? Who is she though? I mean, she moved into the crib, but she's a butch. Is she mom's new man?
You know what? Moms will say no, bro. Moms will say no. But you tell me, two grown-ass women sleeping in the same bed every fucking night, going on dates and shit, like, you know, I don't know, bro. Like,
It sounds like a relationship to me.
it was a
bro.
relationship, bro. There's no way anybody's gonna change my mind that they weren't together. Moms, sorry, if you're watching, you're not gonna change my mind. You were with Teresa. You were with her. It's okay, Mom. It's okay. You know,
with the one good tooth.
the one good tooth, the meat pulling tooth, you know. I don't know. But so yeah, homegirl was like really like, she was really like an authoritarian in the household, bro. She got me in trouble for every motherfucking thing that you could possibly think of. And we already established that I have a smart mouth and I have like this type of dry sense of humor, this kind of I'm gonna poke at you and see what the fuck happens type of, you know, type of situation. So she didn't really like that too much. And I can honestly tell you, bro, like there was in the beginning, like I was grounded, bro. Like they had me grounded, I want to say for like all of the 7th grade, bro. The whole 7th grade.
I mean, how do you stay grounded for a whole fucking school year, bro?
I was allowed to come out of the room to eat dinner and to shower and to do my chores. And I would go right back to the room. And it wasn't like you're grounded for 6 months. It was like you're grounded for 2 weeks. And then I would get out of grounded and I would be like, yeah, I got my freedom. And then she'd be like, I don't like your attitude and you're grounded again. So it was like a consecutive back-to-back groundings. It wasn't like one fucking massive punishment for some crazy shit that I did. It was just 2 weeks, a month. You're not coming out of your room till we tell you. And then it eventually became a until we tell you type of, there was no time limit on this thing.
I mean, and it's when we tell you, but it's just her telling you.
Well, you know, mom was rolling with it though. You know, mom was there. It's not like mom wasn't there. Mom was still working at the time, which was good. Mom kept working for a little while after that, you know, so that was good. But yeah, man, like I used to see times where like, I mean, I'm not going to say this was every weekend or anything like that, but there was times where, you know, it sucks, bro. You're sitting there grounded. You're up in your room and they would do things like they would buy me fucking model cars just to keep me in the room so I wouldn't talk shit about like why I wasn't being included in what they're doing on the weekends. You know, hell, here's a fucking model car. Just paint this model car, stay in your room, you know? So I feel like it was kind of convenient for them to kind of like
Keep you out the way.
keep me out the way, yeah.
And I mean, and what are they doing though while you're in the room? Like, you know, they're out.
I'm assuming they're just mobbing around doing whatever fucking people who are, you know,
Were they getting high? Or?
getting high and shit are doing. Yeah, they're getting high and shit, I'm pretty sure.
I mean, if she had only one tooth, you know,
Yeah.
it's a good chance that
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
she either got all her teeth knocked out in a fight, or she started losing them one by you know, fucking with that dope or something. I don't know.
I'm gonna go with B. I'm gonna go with B. You
Yeah.
know, so you know, yeah, there was times, bro. They would come home with like leftovers and shit, and they would write on that shit, bro. They would put on their "not for Scott." Like, what the fuck, like
Scandalous.
this is fucking crazy shit, bro. So you know, of course, I'm gonna have an attitude towards this bitch when I finally get up, when I finally get a chance to talk back to her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that went on probably, you know, I would say for about a year. It's not too clear, but after my stepdad left, we didn't last too long in that house. So when homegirl moved in, we were in a certain house in South Pasadena, and then we moved into an apartment. Kind of around the time my mom got pregnant with a little bit after. My mom got pregnant a little bit after we moved in there, but yeah, we moved into this apartment, and I don't really think that homegirl came with us for that long after that. So it was kind of like maybe it was the end of the relationship, or I don't know what. We did have like a couple of other people living with us at the time, and she took off with the other people when we all kind of went our separate ways. She took off with the other people, and then we went our way. You know, but from there, you know, in that house is kind of where I started to kind of put two and two together about what was really going on. Because I don't think I really had that much of an idea what was really going on. I mean, I knew she was toothless, but I was kind of naive in that sense. You know, I started smoking weed when I was like 12. So it was around that time when I started to kind of get introduced a little bit more to being out on the streets and hearing other people's like, oh yeah, my brother's this, my brother's that, or my sister's this or that. So I started to kind of put it together like, oh, that's probably what's going on at my pad too. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, I want to say I was like 12, maybe 13, dude. And I one time my mom was at work or whatever. She used to work graveyard shift, so I got a lot of free time at night to do what the fuck I wanted to do.
After Teresa left, it was no longer in the picture.
Right, where there was nobody to tell me what I had to do. You know what I mean? But yeah. I remember one time, I don't know what compelled me to go into my mom's room. It was probably just fucking being nosy or whatever. And I opened up one of her drawers, man, and I saw it all laid out right there. So white powder with a razor blade and the mirror and the whole 9 yards just right there. And it clicked to me like, oh, fuck, this is what's going on. And I'll never forget, dude, I was like I said, like 12 or 13. And that I fucking just took a bump off of her shit right there. I just wanted to try it out, see what the fuck she was fucking with. And felt the drip. Didn't really get too fucking crazy. Felt the little drip and I was like, what the fuck is this? This is fucking stupid, you know? But yeah, that's when I kind of put everything together, what was going on with my mom. And this is still within like a year of everything kind of just abruptly changing, you know? So yeah.
And so when you tried that fucking bump, bro, and you got that drip, I mean, did it fucking, was it tweak or something? Did it tweak you out? Yeah.
I don't know what it was, bro. It definitely, it could have been coke. I don't know. I'm not sure, bro. I'm not sure.
But it really didn't do nothing to you.
It didn't really do anything to me where I'm like, I didn't feel like some sort of Superman, and I didn't feel like some sort of like I wasn't able to sleep or anything like that night or anything like that. It just kind of was like, oh, that's a fucking nasty drip. That's fucking weird. And then I just, you know, I probably pushed out and didn't do enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I just kind of wanted to test it out.
Yeah, no doubt, bro. Yeah.
So, yeah, man. So, I mean, shit was pretty, you know, like at that point, we were still kind of managing because mom was still working, you know, that was, and I remember, you know, every fucking problem that we had, she used to blame on my stepdad. You know, she used to blame it on my stepdad. Her check was getting garnished. It's my stepdad's fault because he got a surgery before. And like, I'm thinking my stepdad had a better fucking job than you. Why the fuck was he on your insurance? And then like, what, like nothing made sense to me, bro. Like there was no food in the house. There was like, her check, she would show me her check and she's working 40 hours a week and it's like $68. Like who the fuck is working for $68? How could they be garnishing you this much? You know what I mean? So I think that's kind of where shit started to like start falling down a little bit more from there. And then she got pregnant. You know, she was, you know, shit is fucking a unique type of relationship when mom's is pregnant and you got to wait for the baby to be born to figure out who the dad is. You know what I mean? Like, we weren't sure if he was going to be a 6'10" black dude or if he was going to be a little Filipino dude, you know? And it's the truth, bro. When my brother was born, we looked at him and we said, yup, that motherfucker's Filipino for sure, you know? You know, so.
Little slant-eyed motherfucker.
Little slant-eyed motherfucker. And hey, you know, so, but I would say in general, though, like at that point in time in my life, I was still pretty much a good kid. I was skating. I was smoking weed here and there, but weed wasn't something that I had my hands on every day. So it was here and there. It wasn't really, you know, once my mom had Daniel, who, by the way, was also on your podcast, episode number like 5 or 6 or something like that.
Yeah.
OGDL.
Yeah.
Once my mom had him, we moved back to Eagle Rock. And, you know, like I said, we were always from either Highland Park or Eagle Rock or South Pasadena. We were always somewhere close to the hood, you know?
Yeah.
We moved back to Eagle Rock, and then it just kind of like started. That's when we started getting introduced to everybody on that Eagle Rock side of the, you know, we were across the street from from those trailer parks in Eagle Rock where Homegirl used to live.
Yeah.
You know who the Homegirl is.
Yeah.
And, you know, she was doing big things over there. So that's how little by little we started getting introduced to everybody out there, man.
Yeah. And basically what you're saying is you're getting introduced to the underworld,
Right.
you know, the
Yeah.
the black market, the circles, the tweaker circles.
Yeah, I've never seen
know?
shit like this before, bro. I mean, like the people that my mom used to fuck with before, like there was a couple of people who I could say, yeah, they were a little strange. They had a lot of energy, you know what I mean? But I never really put two and two together like that until we were out there.
Yeah.
You know, and I got a little bit older too, and I got a little bit less
Naive.
Yeah, a little less naive and a little bit more independent, where I wasn't just depending on information from mom. You know what I mean? Like, I was able to make my own determinations on what was going on rather than just listening to what mom had to say about it.
Because you kind of realized at that point in time that, you know, I mean, not all the information was put out there was actual factual information.
Right. Yeah. So we ended up moving to Eagle Rock, and Homegirl, the significant other, they lived upstairs from us, you know. So it was kind of like full circle. Like, here we are back around this same environment that I was in before, but I was already, you know, like a couple years older, so I wasn't really they weren't really gonna tell me what to do anymore. I kind of had that attitude about it, you know. So yeah, man, that's kind of where shit started to change. And I remember, you know, the day we met Home Dude, you know, who you so eloquently described in the caption as building anal sex machines for pleasuring himself. I was probably like 14, 15 when I met that dude. And I remember, you know, it was probably the first time I met him, maybe the second time. He comes over to the pad, and he's, you know the dude, right? So
yeah, I know him.
He's doing the whole tweaker shuffle, right? He can't hold still for a second. He can't
hold still.
He can't hold still for a second. I mean,
So let's call him Dildo Man.
Dildo Man.
So Dildo Man, he was shout out to my boy Ronnie Brown. Look at Ronnie Brown right there. You know
What's
Ronnie.
up, Ronnie?
Yeah. Shout out to the whole Brown family. My boy Chucky, everybody. Yeah. So Dildo Man was the dude, the white dude in the neighborhood that you see him going down the street, and he could be walking, he could be driving, and his shit would just be like. Yeah. He would be just like he couldn't control his shit.
Right. It was 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 3 steps forward, 2 steps back. You couldn't hold him still, man. So I said, he came in the house and he's doing this whole thing, and I go, "What's up, Alan?" And he said, "Hard dicks and airplanes." And I was just like, damn, this is how this is gonna go, huh? Hard dicks and airplanes.
That's what he told you?
That's what he told me, bro. And I was like 14. Hard dicks and airplanes. That's what was up.
Hard dicks and airplanes. Wow. I mean, that's something strange for a grown man to tell a 14-year-old kid. Once the kid tells you what's up, you're talking about hard dicks and airplanes. I mean, yeah, that's pretty crazy, bro.
And,
you know?
Yeah, and I mean, he was the first person that I ever heard at that age say, "It ain't gay if you don't kiss." Like, you know, I was like, damn, you know. Like,
I mean, why would he say that, you know?
I mean, it's
just in midst of conversation.
He just couldn't help himself, I guess. You know, maybe he was trying to fucking prime me, bro. It didn't work, but you know.
Whoa.
You never know, bro.
Yeah.
You never know. You know, so yeah, but you know, I didn't really, you know, me and mom didn't really we didn't really start hanging out with him or being around him too much. And still a couple years, it was still like a year or two later down the road before it got into where I was actually living at that pad, you know.
So you guys are at this apartment. You moved from South Pasadena. You're in this apartment in Eagle Rock now, across from the trailer, those little trailer parks and shit. The old girl with the one tooth, the meat puller.
The meat puller, yeah.
Yeah, is living up top now. So you're like, all right, fuck, here we go again with this fucking dumbass broad. You know, so you're a little older now, so you're a little more aware of what's going on, you know, and here this dude pops up out of nowhere, and him and your mom are best of friends almost.
Yeah, I wouldn't really like characterize it as that right away. I think maybe he was just somebody to get high with at the beginning.
Yeah.
But, you know, it definitely progressed over the years, couple years. It progressed pretty much into they were inseparable for a while.
Yeah, and but he comes to the crib. You say what up to him. He's talking about hard dicks and airplanes and talking about it's not gay unless you kiss, And then so you.
Oh no! Wait, he said. Sorry, he said it's not. I'm not gay. My boyfriend is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think that's what he said. Right?
Yeah, and I mean, there's some dudes when they're high and shit, they say fucking outrageous shit and they're just clowning and shit. But saying it to an adult is one thing, but saying it to a kid is just it's a whole nother thing, You got to have a little bit of filter on this shit. But I mean, hey, I live in a fucking glass house and I've said some outrageous shit, nothing like that. But anyways, and especially the kids, that's kind of violation right there, dog.
Yeah.
But anyway, so you get introduced to this dude, Mr. Dildo Man. And off the top, bro, you're just like, whoa, this dude is fucking out there. He is fucking like, strange fucking individual.
I have never seen anybody besides like what I would say would be like a homeless person. To be honest, I had never seen somebody act the way he acted. You know what I mean? I had never seen it in my life. Like I never seen anybody move like that, talk like that. Just have that look in their eye, bro. Like I had never seen it before. So
and how would you just like, I know you were saying 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. He couldn't stop moving. He couldn't control his arms, right?
We know that.
So he's just there and his arms are going all over the place, and he's just fucking gacked the fuck back, bro. He is, and you know 100% fact that this dude is on drugs.
Right.
Did you know at the time, that, hey, is it meth? Is it like, did you have an idea what he was on, bro? And then what did you think about, too, your mom bringing this dude to the crib, Are you just...
Yeah, you know what? I thought it was pretty weird because, like I said, the people that we had been, the people that I had been introduced to before that were pretty much people that I had seen kind of like my whole life, I would say, but I never really thought bad about them. So I thought it was fucking strange, bro. I thought it was really weird. Like, I didn't know what to really think about the dude personally, but I just thought it was weird that my mom was hanging out with him. You know what I mean? Like, everybody has their own personality, but like, how the fuck did this guy enter into our universe? You know what I mean? What's really going on? And I think that's kind of where I started, again, where I was just kind of like, damn, like, this is gonna progress. I kind of had like what's really going on? This shit's gonna really probably escalate for.
This is just
us.
the beginning.
This is just the beginning.
This is just the beginning. So you're the normal life that you knew was with your stepdad.
Well, stepdad was there from. I'm probably not going to say the right amount of time, but he was there for 3 or 4 years, maybe 5 years. So he was there from like 7 to 12 or something like that.
Which is an age range that you remember,
right?
Like you said, he was. All stepdads. And probably including myself, can be a dick at times. I think it's somehow, some way. I don't know. I don't want to justify it, bro, but he did try, and you guys did have some type of stability while he was there. Like he was putting you into sports.
Right.
He provided. You guys weren't without.
We moved to South Pass.
Yeah.
We were living in Mount Washington at the time. So first we lived in like Sunland for a minute. And I think I have a feeling, and I've never really asked my mom about this, but I have a feeling moving to Sunland there was a reason behind it. And so if we take it back even further, bro, like to when I was like 3, I said shit was pretty normal, but I just remembered some shit. Mom was I witnessed my mom in a very bad situation in domestic violence when I was like 3 years old. Some motherfucker would like just fuck her up, bro. Like we would hide from this fool. We would like the whole 9 yards. Like, I just remember he was like what is that shit called? The dudes that go pick up the money from the fucking stores and shit. The
tax collector?
No. The ones that go in the armored vehicles.
Oh yeah.
What are they fucking called? But anyways, he was one of those dudes. So he had a strap. He was legally carrying, and I just remember he drank Jack Daniels and liked the Raiders, and and I just remember the smell of Jack Daniels on that guy, dude. Like, and he used to beat the shit out of my mom. I remember one time in particular, bro. I want to say I was probably like 5 years old, maybe. He threw her through a stained glass front door, and then dragged her out into the driveway and threw her into like a fucking lemon tree or some shit. and just beat the fuck out of her. And I don't know what it was about. I'm never probably gonna know what it was about. And maybe it was about nothing, because maybe he was just a fucking piece of shit. You know what I mean?
Well, obviously he was a piece of shit.
I mean, obviously he was a piece of shit.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not trying to justify it, but I'm just trying to say, like, I don't know what the fuck was going on. It just seemed random. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I mean, and like you said, during that time, you would hide from him. You were a little kid and you would hide from him.
Yeah, so there was times where because we lived in a back house, so you couldn't really just sneak up on the front door. You had to walk through the driveway to get to the back house. So we would see him coming through the driveway, and we would go into the bathroom, and we would lock ourselves in there, and then we would climb out the bathroom window. I mean, this happened at least once. I'm not going to say it happened all the time. You know what I mean? I don't want to put it out there like we were fucking running from this dude all the fucking time. But we ran through the bathroom window, and we, the neighbors obviously were like, "What the fuck? Why are you guys climbing out the bathroom window of your own pad? Like, what the fuck?" And they took us inside, and I'm not sure if we called the cops or whatever it was, but we just kind of laid low until he just left on his own, I believe is what happened. So yeah, I mean, shit wasn't really that normal, I guess. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, obviously, do you know who your father is?
Yeah, I know who my dad is.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we established that already. My bad. Which we're gonna get into. I'm sorry. My bad, dog. I just kind of got twisted up a little bit on just this story and this conversation, dog. So obviously your mom, I mean, has suffered a lot in relationships, and and just picking possibly the wrong dudes.
Right. Yeah,
and,
sure.
and she, I mean, some women, aren't strong enough at the time to, get out, or I don't know, get out of the situation, or stop fucking with a certain type of individual. I mean, some women, shout out to the women out there, that have, in love and respect, and, hopefully if you're going through that right now, you get out of that situation. But I know there's a lot of women that have been through abusive relationships, which is fucking horrible. And it not only does it fuck them up, but it fucks the little ones up like yourself around them, bro.
Right. Yeah. No. Yeah. It was definitely. It's something that actually came back. Fast forward to the second house in South Pasadena when we were living in that apartment. We were taking the bus somewhere. I want to say we were coming back from just an afternoon together with mom. We didn't have a car, so we're on the bus, and we both swear up and down that we saw home dude on the bus, and sitting about 5-6 rows behind us. And my mom kind of like nudged me, and she was like, "Hey, I think that's so and so," and I was like, "What?" And so I looked over my shoulder, and like I probably turned white, bro. I probably like fucking got scared as shit. And I'll never forget, bro, like we were scared to get off of our exit on the bus. You know what I mean? We were scared to get off of our exit because we didn't want them to know more or less where we lived, so we ended up skipping one exit, I think we did. And to this day, I'm going to say it was him, because the way the dude was staring at us when we were walking off the bus, it's like he fucking knew us, you know what I mean? But that was the last time. But yeah, like it's crazy how it's like a fucking small world where, we're talking about 10 years later or some shit, just randomly on a bus, you see the dude,
I mean, this is a story, dog. This is one story of millions of stories out there of the trials and tribulations of a single mother trying to make it through life with, her kids, and sometimes not making the best decisions and shit, dog, you know what I mean? But so let's get back to that apartment. You got fucking, what do we call this guy? Dildo Man?
Dildo Man.
Dildo
Man, yeah.
Whatever. We probably can think of a better name for him than that. But anyways, he's showing up. He's fucking tweaked the fuck out. And how much time? And you looking at this dude like this dude is a fucking weirdo. Fuck. And the next thing you know it, you're moving into his house.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
am I going too far?
Yeah, you jumped ahead a little bit.
Okay, let's rewind
because, that's probably he came around probably when I was 14. I didn't move into that house till I was probably like 16, 17. So there was a couple of years in between there where we still lived in that apartment. So yeah, man, mom. I mean, once that dude came around, I kind of started to put shit together. Because like you said, I didn't know exactly what he was on, but I knew he was on something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I kind of started, obviously before that I had already, taken a bump off of mom's shit in the freaking bedroom. So I knew there was drugs involved, but I think that kind of like solidified it for me right there. But yeah, there was just more and more random fucking people coming to our house. I remember, there was a fucking homegirl who used to come over, and she was like a low-key stripper or something back in the day. And, you know, I'm fucking 14 or 15. You got a stripper coming out. I'm like 13 or 14, actually. And you got, like, fucking stripper coming over to the pad. And then, you know, she ended up getting, like, fucking hardcore fucking raped, bro. And she came to our pad, right, like, the day after. Like, she was, like taken hostage and, like, all kinds of shit done to her by some fucking biker fools or whatever the fuck they were. I don't even know who they were. I know who they were, but I don't even know, like, what the fuck the situation was. And, like, shit just started to, like, more and more, like, fucking more and more extreme shit started to pop up on our day-to-day life, dude. Like,
the circus just kept on growing.
The circus just kept on going, bro. And you know, she was another like local person, you know. So but I want to say, like, with Dildo Man and with the Connect that used to be in the trailer park is kind of where I started to put everybody in their place, where I knew what the fuck was going on. So
I mean, and real quick though, I'm gonna stop you real quick, bro.
Yeah,
but so during this time, I mean, when people are, you know, they're on a high off of fucking meth, you know, they're on dope, they're living this lifestyle, you know, and I've been in a lot of these fucking houses, man, you know, and there's always kids around, you know, the refrigerators are bare
as fuck, dude.
because they're not eating and their money's going elsewhere. I mean, how are you surviving as a, you know, young adolescent? You know what I mean? Like, how are you doing it? Like, what was the normal meal? Was mom making dinners? Was there breakfast? Was there lunch?
So basically, like, okay, so when we were in South Pass and we were living in that apartment, and when shit started to get real bad, I used to go to my grandma's house. My grandma lived in El Sereno, like I said. You know, we lived up there in the projects, and I used to go to my grandma's house pretty much as they would have me over. I remember one time I was over there, bro, and I have my aunts and my uncles and everybody else was around at that time. Now everybody's kind of spread out, but one of my aunts was like, she didn't really believe the conditions that I was living in, right? She was like, there's no way you don't have food. We know your mom. Your mom's a good mom. There's no way you don't have shit in the house, you know? Stop exaggerating. Maybe it's nothing that you don't want, but there's food, you know what I mean? Like, and so the next weekend I told my aunt, I was like, why don't you pick me up instead of me taking the bus? Because I used to take the bus to their pad. Yeah. I used to walk down and just catch the bus and go straight over and then walk up the hill. And so she comes over, and I show her the refrigerator, bro, and there's like half a stick of butter, some old white rice, and like a can of corn in the cupboard. You know, and she just was like, damn, like, you weren't fucking around. So I think at that point, like, once my grandma became aware of it, and shout out to my grandma, you know, like, when I was a teenager, she tried her best to give me a normal weekend when she could. Pops wasn't there. I'll say this, like, Pops wasn't there, but Pops' family went above and beyond while I was coming up to make sure that I knew who my family was. You know what I mean? Even though Pops wasn't there.
Yeah, and so nothing like that. Grandmas, you know what I mean? For some reason, grandmas have a history of raising a lot of their kids, you know what I mean? Yeah. And so she gave you that love. She gave you that, like, you go to her crib. And I mean, you're talking about the Highlands, the projects right there in Sereno and shit, right? They were living in the projects?
Yeah. They were living in the projects the whole time, bro. My whole life. Like, we were basically like an established family up there, you know what I mean? And like you said, I'm not affiliated to anywhere, you know what I mean? But that hood up there at one point when I was a teenager, probably in my later teenage years, like 17, 18, they gave me a walk-on. They said, you can walk on, bro. You know what I mean? We don't have to jump you in. You're fucking family up here. You know what I mean?
To the Highlands.
Yeah. And I didn't take their offer up on, you know what I mean? Because I was a skater, bro. I mean, I was a skater at that time. I was, you know, into the punk rock. I was like, I'm not trying to be a gangbanger, bro. But, yeah, so I remember, you know, that time specifically when my aunt came over and she saw that the refrigerator was bare. She took me back and they said, hey, what do you want to eat? And I said, I want fucking taquitos. You know, I want some fucking taquitos. And my grandma was counting those shits. I ate 22 taquitos that day, bro. She never let me forget that shit, bro. She was like, you ate 22 taquitos, bro.
Yeah.
4 at a time, you know, until I got to the last plate. I was like, just 2 this time.
That's dope. I mean, was she a good cook? Grandma, good cook?
Grandma's a good cook, man. I learned a lot of shit from her, you know.
So every time you went there was always a home cooked meal.
It's gonna be a home cooked meal, bro.
Yeah,
It's
100%.
always going to be a home cooked meal at Grandma's Pad, you know?
Yeah, no doubt. Shout out to all the good grandmas out there. Hey, Lucky, appreciate you. Appreciate that $1.99. There was another person that put another donation. Thank you for that donation as well. Shout out to everybody. Max Powers, Eddie, fucking everybody. John Wayne, everybody that is tapped in. I love you guys. Appreciate you guys stopping by on a Sunday. I know there's a lot of football games. Gangsta Mac, Richard Thompson, Showbiz, Cash, much love to Scotty for sharing such a personal story. And this is the trip. Oscar Perez, I see Texas. Shout out to Texas. Yes, sir. Love for Texas off the rip. Shout out from Vegas. Vegas, love. Like, we get everybody all over the fucking country right here, and we love you motherfuckers, dog. But yes, so check it out. This is what's a trip. John McHugh, thank you, brother, checking in to the show. Respect. John McHugh, that's my G right there. I love that dude right there. Yes. Look at the love go. Love, yes. My boy Frank, what up, G? Long Beach in the house. What up, homie? But yes, this dude is a reserved dude. This is a dude that if anybody knew him, they would probably, I put my money on it, they'd probably be very, very surprised that this guy is on here telling his story. Am I correct?
I think so, man. I think a lot of people will be surprised because I am pretty reserved. There's a lot of people who I fucked with on a daily basis who don't even know half of my fucking story. You know what I mean? And that could be family. That could even be family. You know, I might have some family in the audience tonight because, you know, we've been sharing and reposting shit. And, you know, they just know Scotty. They don't know, like, what the fuck was going on behind the scenes. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man, I think there's a lot of people, you know, and it's not that my story is, like, any special or, you know, more special than anybody else's, but it's just something that, you know, it's, I think it's, you know, not to toot my own horn or not to, like, you know, play, but I avoided anything major, even though I was knee deep in shit at times. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I mean, you could have came out a whole lot worse, bro. You know, you could have came a whole lot worse. You could have been really, really fucked up. You know what I mean? And you are to this day, shit. I mean, you're a fucking decent fucking human being, dog. You know what I mean? You take care of your family, you work, and you're doing all your shit. But let's keep it moving. With this story right here. I see all you guys, New Mexico in the house. What up? Love. Phoenix in the casa. What up, my G? So your aunt sees this. You go to grandma's. You eat 22 tacos. The homies from the Highlands are trying to jump you, and they're saying, bro, you family right here. We just gonna give you a walk-in. You're like, nah, homie, I ain't about that. I'm about my punk rock, and I love to skate. That just wasn't your thing. And lucky for you that you were strong. You know what I mean? You were a lot stronger than to get sucked in and make life a whole lot worse for you than what it was, bro, you know? And...
yeah.
You know, go ahead, Don.
Yeah, I mean, you know, so where shit, like, you know, we could say escalated after that was, I remember it fucking clearly, bro. I don't know what was going on with mom. She wasn't paying rent, obviously, but I remember fucking sheriffs came up to the pad, bro, and she was scared out of her fucking mind. By this time I have my brother. My brother's probably like 1 or 2 years old or some shit like that, maybe under 2 years old. And, sheriffs come up and they're just trying to serve her an eviction notice. Nothing too fucking crazy, but mom fucking freaked out. You know, she was fucking, she was on one. She was on one that day, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So
she thought it was for something else.
She thought it was for something else. She definitely thought it was for something else, bro. As a matter of fact, like fucking home dude, Dildo Man, had, I spent a lot of time in those days with no electricity in the pad, bro. We lived in an apartment, but with no electricity, no fucking hot water. You know what I mean? No food. So it wasn't just no food. You know, so you had asked a question earlier of what did I do on a daily basis. So grandma was, you know, a source on the weekends, but what I did on a daily basis is I used to steal. I used to fucking steal. I used to go down to 7-Eleven on fucking Highland View in Colorado and just fucking get a king-size Snicker and steal that shit into my fucking sleeve of my shirt or whatever, just petty shit, you know? Or when I was about 13, 14, I got a job. So at first I was making $35 a week, bro, working, you know, but we're talking about like 1995, 5 or whatever, right? So I was making $35 a week working at a fucking pet store. I would work Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays after school. So it wasn't like I was there slaving all day long.
So you were maintaining, you were still going to school. Were you still passing grades in school?
I passed, so ninth grade, freshman year, I passed all my classes. I did fine. But then the summer of ninth grade is kind of where I just started doing my own thing. Like mom was still working graveyard. Homegirls upstairs from us were watching my brother. So I was just left to do my own thing. And that's kind of where I started like just fucking with, I mean, again, I say fucking with the streets, but I was just on the streets. It wasn't like I was out there being grimy or anything. I was just on the streets all the time. I was either skating, just being bummy. Me and one of my homeboys used to, we were both in the same situation sort of with money. I mean, his situation at home wasn't as dire as far as drugs and shit went, but money-wise, we were in the same situation where neither one of us had money. So we used to go to Pete's Blue Chip, and they used to have a memory game in the lobby. And the further you could get on the memory game, it would correlate to a fucking food prize. And homeboy was like one of these guys who was like, he was like a fucking wizard for like memorizing things. He was like the fucking David Blaine of my school era. Like he just did. I remember one time we were watching a skate video at a homeboy's pad, and he spun a pizza box on his finger for 3 hours, bro. Like he didn't stop. It didn't stop. It didn't fall. It didn't wiggle. Nothing. He just sat there and spin that shit for like 3 hours. So he was like this. He had this weird thing, bro. Like he had this weird ability to memorize shit and like remember shit.
Figure shit out. You
Yeah.
give him that Rubik's Cube and he'll fucking get all the colors on.
So we would go to Pete's Blue Chip, bro, and we would go with a quarter because the memory game was a quarter. And we would fucking let him do his thing. I would just hands off, you know, I provide the quarter, you provide the memory, bro. Let's do this, you know?
Yeah.
And sure as shit, dude, at least we would get like a chili cheese fries or some shit. So that would be our meal for the day at times. But once I started working at the pet store regularly, my little $35 a week was, bean and cheese burritos at Taco Bell right around the corner from my pad, right there on Colorado. You know, I would just make it stretch, bro. I always say, like, I wish I would have known, like, fucking the grocery store had good deals on shit back then, because I probably would have been buying some macaroni and cheese boxes and shit, you know what I mean?
Stretch that $35
Stretch that
out.
$35 out, because I was covering my own haircuts, I was covering my own deodorant, I was covering my own skate shit, I was covering my own shoes and my fucking clothes or whatever it was. I mean, I had other little side hustles at the time too. I worked at the pet store, but I also had side hustles here and there occasionally with one of, actually my homie who I live with now. His family, they did like festivals and shit, and I would run a little game booth for a weekend. We'd go up and run a little game booth, and then it would be like a couple bills, bam, bam, for a weekend, you know, sleeping in a van. So I would have come ups here and there, you know what I mean? But on a regular $35 a week, took care of my shit, you know? And that was also like trying to stretch that for my brother too, because that's, you know, at that age, I was trying to, whether fucking it was enough or not, I was trying to provide for my brother as much as I could too. You know, he's 2 years old. He doesn't know what the fuck is going on. You know, this is the life he was born into, but I was born into a life that was totally different, and I saw it change to this. You know what I mean? Like, so it was a little bit different. He kind of like assimilated to it a little bit because he was in it from an infant. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's getting babysitted by tweakers while mom's working.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And
Well,
who knows how they were babysitting them? You know.
Yeah.
I'm you know what I mean? I'm not.
Well, the homegirls upstairs that used to live upstairs from us, they were tweakers, but they also had kids, so they weren't like total tweaked out like to
they were functioning.
They had their food. I mean, that's where I would eat too, bro. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I would go upstairs and they had their food stamps or whatever, so I would go up there and just fucking catch a meal here and there too. You know. Yeah. That was kind of like it kind of became 360 with homegirl with meat puller. It kind of came like it did a
meat puller.
Actually a 180, not a 360. There's people listening to like that. 360 is back where you started.
Yeah.
No, it's a 180. She ended up like, you know, actually once her and my mom, I could say, weren't together anymore. Like, you know, doing a lot for me with making sure that I had dinner, or I could, like, if I was watching my brother, I could just go take him up there and be like, hey, I'm about to bounce, you know, and they would just take over for the night because
no questions asked.
No questions asked. You know what I mean?
Shout out to meat puller then, dog.
Yeah.
I mean, she ended up being, you know, helpful, right?
At the end of the day, she ended up being helpful. It was just that rocky beginning at the start, you know. So Sheriffs roll up, bro. Mom is getting evicted. I know we were on kind of like the down and out with management there at the place, and like I said, we were stealing electricity. Dildo man had cut a hole into the bedroom closet fucking wall, in the closet wall, and he had tapped into a floodlight that was for the outside of the parking structure and fucking hot wired some electricity into the pad. So we had fucking illegal electricity coming into the pad. No fucking hot water. So ninth grade, summer, once 10th grade started, there was no hot water in the pad, and there was not shit my mom could do to make me go to school. I was like, I can't even have fucking clean clothes. I don't even eat. I don't even have fucking school supplies. There's not really shit you're gonna do. Well, and also that summer is when she gave me the green light to start smoking weed in the house. She didn't want me out on the street smoking weed, so my house kind of wasn't like the main kick it spot, but like when mom wasn't there, there was people over blazing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was one of the spots.
It was one of the spots where it would be like a jump off point where we would meet up and then like we could blaze it comfortably before we went skating. You know what I mean? Without having to be out on the streets.
I mean, when you're that age and shit, bro, and you're in the situation that you're in, bro, and you're fucking, you have friends, and basically the friends that you're fucking with all have similar situations. Would you say so?
No, I wouldn't. Not in Eagle Rock, bro.
Yeah.
In Eagle Rock, a lot of the skater friends that I had, were totally on like their fucking bougie skater shit, where they had the newest shoes, and I was just trying to keep up with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of why, like, I never really bonded with anybody back in the days. Like, in all honesty, I don't talk to anybody that I knew in high school besides the homie that I live with right now. You know what I mean? I don't talk to a single person, and we still have a mutual friend that comes over here and there. But like anybody who I knew in high school that I skated with on a daily fucking basis, I don't talk to not a single one of those motherfuckers. Like, there's no homies from back in those days. You know
and it's just that people, as you know, years gone by, they just kind of like branched off into their own fucking thing. It's like really nothing personal, right?
But like you said too, I'm kind of like the type that's not going to reach out either. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I'm not going to be like, yo, what's up? Let's kick it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, dude. So, fucking sheriffs show up. Mom's hiding in the fucking closet. She's throwing a big ass fit, bro. Like, they're trying to pull her out of the closet, and they're like, you know, they don't know if she's fucking has a strap on her or if she has some shit on her. So they fucking have weapons drawn, and I am just there with my fucking brother. Like, what the fuck is going on? I have no idea. Mom hasn't been paying rent. I don't know what the fuck is going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it just turned out it was a fucking eviction notice, and we had like, I forget whatever. We didn't have a lot of time. Let's put it that way. I don't know. Remember?
Sometimes it's like a 30-day notice.
Yeah, I feel like it wasn't 30 days. I feel like after they left, I called my grandma up and I was like, Grandma, I'm moving in, you know, and that's kind of like, and maybe it was 30 days. I don't know, but it was pretty quickly after they were gone where we had to start making moves.
Yeah, 100%. Hey, shout out to Alma for the $5. Adama. Shout out to Eric Reyes, $2.99.
You know who
I
Eric
see a
is?
Choza right there.
You know who Eric Reyes is, bro? You know Eric. You know Eric.
I think I know Eric, yeah.
He was around the pad for a while.
Okay. Shout out. What up, Eric? What up, my G? Yeah. But so you move in with your grandma.
I moved in with my grandma.
To the Highlands.
Back up into the Highlands. So now I'm like 16. This is like when I was like 16. And this is kind of where it started to bounce back and forth between Dildo Man and the Highlands. Like, started to go back and forth.
Because Mom moved in with Dildo Man.
No, Mom actually originally moved in with Grandma in the Highlands because we already knew my dad's release date at that time, and it was coming up. It wasn't, I don't think he wasn't out yet because I know me and my mom were there at least for a little while before my dad came out. But Mom was up there at the beginning, but she didn't last too long. You know, there was expectations that it wasn't going to be treated like a hotel and this and that, so she didn't last too long up there.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. You know, I mean, hey, you're not just gonna come here and shower and change and bounce off to the next fucking party. Like, she knew the rotation of things probably with your pops, right, to a certain extent, right?
Well, no, Pops came out on the up and up, bro. Pops came out on the up and up. That's when she was deeper with the Dildo Man at that time.
Yeah.
You know, so she ended up moving out of Grandma's pad. Then she moved over there to homie's house.
Yeah.
You know, and there was a brief time where my brother was kind of bouncing between there and with me.
And how old is your brother at this time?
My brother's got to be like 4.
Four.
No, let's see. I was 16. He was like 2 or 3, because we're 14 years apart.
Wow.
So
3 years old, and he's bouncing back and forth at 3 years old.
yeah, bouncing back and forth until finally, like, my grandma actually like kind of put her foot down, and she was like, you know what, like, I know, we're treating him like he's family, but your mom's got to like take care of him. You can't take care of him. You're just a fucking teenager.
And you wanted to take care of Daniel, your brother.
I mean, I did, and I mean, honestly, bro, I did and I didn't.
Yeah.
I was kind of tired of it at that point. Like, kind of had that chip on my shoulder against my mom. Like, what the fuck? Why am I raising your kid? You know what I mean? Like, I didn't fucking ask to have this kid. You know what I mean? So, but at the same time, I knew that it was probably better for him. Even though I didn't want to deal with it, I knew it was better for him to be around me more.
I mean, and how did you feel? Like, he's such a big age difference. He's 3 years old. You're how old are you at the time?
16.
Like 16 years old, bro. Like, I mean, how did you feel towards him when you seen him? Was that just like, fuck, that's my little brother? He's a baby, bro.
Yeah.
And was there just a certain amount of just like love and affection that you had for him and you gave to him to show him that?
I tried my best, bro. And I think once, like, he was full time up there at fucking Dildo Man's house, because he went through it harder than I did. I was 16, 17, 18, 19 at the time, so I was able to make sense of it, but he wasn't able to make sense of it, when he's 3 or 4 or 5 years old. So there was a time where I feel like he really took the brunt of some of that shit,
Yeah.
But yeah, so my dad gets out when, like I said, when I'm about 16. I had already dropped out of high school. I dropped out of high school the 10th grade. So after that 9th grade summer where I kind of like progressed a little bit more, 10th grade started. First semester I had 45 truancies in one semester. Home dude, fucking counselor was like, this is Eagle Rock High. Counselor was like, hey, this isn't really working out. I don't know if you know how schools work, but attendance equals money for us. And if you're not coming, then we don't need you here, And he said, so here's the deal. We're gonna bus you to Verdugo Hills. And I laughed at him, bro. I laughed at him. I was like, you're gonna bus me to Verdugo Hills. You realize that I live over the hill from here and I don't make it by 8 o'clock, but you think I'm gonna be at a bus stop at 6 a.m. You have shit all fucked up, dude. Like, if that's what your plan is, you might as well not even send my transcripts to Verdugo Hills, because I guarantee you I'm not gonna go once. So he then sent me to Los Angeles High School. I think that's the name of the continuation that's on Franklin.
Yeah.
And the first day I was there,
Highland Park continuation.
Highland Park. There was a Highland Park. They called it some other shit, I think.
Right by Franklin. The same
corner.
Yeah, the corner. Yeah, I went there too, though.
Yeah. They sent me there, and the first day I was there, bro. And at this time, I was full on skater, bro. I had fucking hookups. I don't know if you remember hookups. I had hookups, fucking clothing, baggy ass, beyond baggy, anchor blue shit. You know what I mean? Fucking full on Vans, and I even had at that time I had like fucking my hair dyed, So I took this little placement test, and I felt like really, this is the fucking placement test. One of the questions, I never forget the question: if a bunny is the same color as snow, what color is the bunny? That was one of the questions on the placement test, bro. So I was like, damn, like I really fell far from,
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm leaving, right? And I take the little placement test, and I'm leaving the thing, and two fools I got my skateboard and everything, and two fools hit me up. As I'm walking down 50, whatever that is right there, 55 or whatever, two fools hit me up, and they're like, hey, where you from? And I'm like, what the fuck? I got fucking skateboard and shit. Like, I ain't from nowhere, dog. Like, why you tripping? And they're like, oh yeah, well, this is such and such. Like, if you're gonna keep coming to this fucking school, you better watch your back and shit like that. So I never went back, bro. Like, what the fuck? Like, I never went back there. And it wasn't until my dad got out when I was 16 that he kind of like forced things on me. You know what I mean? So I'll give him props for that.
So your pops gets out of prison, and he's at a mind state where, you know what, I need to take care of my son. It's time to get my shit right. Enough is enough. And this is an older cat from a neighborhood. Did he suffered from using drugs in the past as well?
Yeah. So, like I said, my dad was in and out of jail all through the 80s, into the mid 90s, into the late 90s. I mean, because the last time he was locked up, I believe, was his longest stint. I think it was like 6-7 years or something like that. And he had 2 strikes, and he's also fucking undocumented, right? So
Yeah.
we had this whole we didn't know what the fuck was gonna happen when he got out.
Yeah.
He ended up getting deported when he got out, but he was fucking raised here since he was 9, so he was able to, convince the border that he spoke good enough English to be an American citizen, so he was able to come back. But yeah, so dad gets out, and he tries to be the cool dad at first because he's like, okay, I haven't been around my son for, the only I only have 2 memories of my dad before 16, to be honest with you. 3 memories of my dad before 16. One, I had to take my chain off because my dad would have stole it. That was one memory I had of my dad growing up. Second memory was, I remember one time, I have a lot of cousins on my dad's side of the family, and everybody was going to Knott's Berry Farm, and my aunt was the one that was watching me that weekend, not my dad. My dad just happened to be out at this time, like it was one of the in-betweens, and everybody was going to Knott's Berry Farm, and my dad wouldn't let me go because I was there to visit him. And I fought with them, bro. I said, you know what? I'm here with my aunt. My aunt's the one that's in charge of me, and they're all going to fucking Knott's Berry Farm. I want to go to Knott's Berry Farm. So that was the second memory. He didn't let me go. I remember that shit. And the third memory was the most it's stupid now thinking about it, but home dude fucking shaved my head. I don't know why the fuck he shaved my head, but he shaved my head when I was like in 4th grade or some shit like that. And it fucking traumatized me, bro. I have fucking hair, you know what I mean? Like I have fucking hair. Back then, I trusted him to cut my hair, and he fucking shaved my head. And so those were my only 3 memories I have of my dad, really. You know what I mean? Like, fuck that fool. Or was really kind of my mentality when he got out of prison. Like, who the fuck is this guy gonna tell me?
Yeah, I mean, you gotta hide your chain from your own pops. Usually you gotta hide the chain from the gangsters and the bullies and the drug addicts fucking running around robbing fucking kids and whatnot. But when you gotta hide your chain from your own pops, bro,
Yeah.
that right there alone, homie, can probably really, really fuck a young kid's mind up.
Yeah. So like when I was 13 and we're living in that apartment in Eagle Rock, we got a call one day from I'm assuming it was from my dad. I don't remember exactly, but it was from prison. We got one of those collect calls, and that's kind of when we found out that my dad had HIV. And at that time in the 90s, that was like a fucking death sentence right there. You had no idea what the fuck was gonna happen when somebody gets diagnosed with HIV. You just assume death. You know what I mean? So shit kind of it kind of like created like a soft spot for him, even though I resented him, you know what I mean, at the same time, because I didn't want my dad to fucking die, even though I didn't fucking know him, and I only had these 3 memories of him, you know what I mean? So and he lived a long time with that shit, bro. So I mean, good for him, but 16, he comes out and he tries to be like at first he tries to be the cool dad. I'm gonna buy you a fucking new Walkman. I'm gonna buy you this and that. He's just trying to get a lay of the land, because I was still working at the pet shop, as a matter of fact. Shout out to that guy at the pet store, bro. Used to fucking take care of me. That's another way I used to eat. I used to fucking, like I said, it was $35 a week, but the home dude used to feed me and smoke me out. So I was more than happy. You know what I mean? I was cool with all of that, KB Aquarium and Pets on Colorado Boulevard, now it's some fucking pizza place or some shit. But, shout out to fucking that dude. He fucking played a big part in making sure that I fucking survived.
I mean, he cared about you.
Yeah, and I don't even know if he knew what was going on at home, but
he figured it out.
He figured it out.
He was an adult.
He was an adult. He figured it out, and I don't really remember how much I shared with him, but I was pretty open with him because it was somebody who I was around. That's one thing, like, you say like, oh, I'm kind of a reserved guy. I'm a reserved guy until you show interest in hearing my story, then I'll open up. If you don't, I'm not going to just share my story because somebody is there. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But So yeah, Dad comes out and he doesn't like the whole $50. At this time now, it's 3 years later or so that I've been working there. So now it's $50 a week. It's not $30 a week.
Yeah.
You know, $35 a week. So but it's the same schedule, you know. So he goes, you know what, man? That's it, bro. You're not gonna work there anymore. And I was like, who the fuck are you to tell me you just got out of fucking jail? You think because you bought me a fucking Walkman, a Discman? Because you bought me a Discman that I'm gonna fucking quit my job? Like, who the fuck? Like, I've been working here for 3 years, bro, and I was more than happy with smoking out and fucking eating on, you know, and then just chilling with the homie, you know, like.
Yeah.
Anybody who knows me now knows that I have a thing for animals. So what the fuck, you know, I was having a good old time working at the fucking pet shop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so he's tried to kind of like start imposing like some rules on me. So I fought back, and I pushed it, of course, you know. But he finally, you know, it took him about a year, but he finally got me into an adult school to finish my GED. At this time, like I was so far away in credits that they told me, you know what, don't even fuck around with your diploma. Just go for your GED because you're gonna have to do 10th, 11th, 12th grade. You have 3 years worth of credits to get. You know what I mean? So it's not worth it. They gave me like a pre-placement test and they were like, just take the GED, bro. As soon as you're 17 and 10 months, just take the GED. You know, so I give my pops props for that. And then, you know, so that was like 17 and a half or so. And stuff was a little rocky with him off and on, you know, because now when I moved to El Sereno full time, it was a whole new environment for me, you know, because Eagle Rock is not as hood as El Sereno, like when it comes down to. Yeah,
especially back then, you up in the Highlands, homie. I mean, them fools are slinging all crack cocaine all day up there.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And that was more so like in my younger days than I would say in those days. They were still there, but I was living kind of like this life where I couldn't say that I was living in the Highlands because I was supposed to kicking it down on the El Sereno side of the fucking hood, not the Highland side of the hood. I wasn't kicking it as much in the Highlands. I was kicking it down in the part where I had to say the name of the street I lived on. I couldn't say I lived in the Highlands. I had to say I was living on Twining Street. You know, I couldn't say, up in the Highlands, because Twining went on both sides, you know? So, but it wasn't until I moved to El Sereno, bro, that I started to get more of the delinquent tendencies. You know what I mean? This is when the fucking homie, the homie who's here watching right now, fucking Eric, me and that fool, me and a few other fools, we were just into fucking stealing nonstop, bro. We would steal whatever the fuck it was. We would steal whatever it was, bro. We would go to Burlington Coat Factory and we would come up. We would go to Ross and we would come up. We would look fly as fuck, but everything was fucking stolen. So my dad right away caught on to me like, what the fuck are you coming home with all these new clothes and all these fucking new shoes? You only make $50 a week. You know what I mean? So he started to catch on to shit and he stepped up the intensity, gave me a curfew and did all this bullshit. And of course I fought him on all that shit. But, you know, there was a lot of times in those days where like, bro, I remember this one time at the fucking Santa Anita Mall, bro. It was me, the homeboy Muse, and another dude, it was me, Jumbo, and another dude. It wasn't the homeboy that's watching right now. We went in there, bro, and we got like fucking backpacks full of shit, bro. And we got caught, bro. We got fucking caught. They fucking grabbed us up, and they were gonna take us back inside. And me and the other dude just fucking booked it. Fucking full on fucking helicopter. That was the first time like I was really fucking scared over the shit I was doing. You know what I mean? Like there's times where people were like, hey, get back here. And you're just like, fuck you. And you just keep going, right? You jump on your fucking skateboard and you get to the bus stop and you fucking bounce and you're like, okay, whatever, fool. Like that was the first time like I remember, bro, like we had come up on so much shit that day that we were able to change our physical appearance off of the shit that we stole that day. So we hid out in the back of some apartments. It was me and another dude, and there was 3 of us, but the other dude, I don't know, like the biggest dude, bro, it's fucking weird. The biggest dude, 6'4", fucking 300 pounds, diabetes, fucking asthma, the whole 9 yards. That fool just walked away, and me and the other 4 are the ones like, booking it. Like,
Yeah.
this was just walking away. So I was like, what the fuck? Like, how the hell did you just walk away from this shit? Like, I know you didn't run, you fucking fat fuck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah, dude, me and the homie just looked at each other and we were like, all right, well, what are we gonna do, bro? Like, fucking, we heard, like, they called helicopters and everything, bro. Like, I know that ain't shit to you, but like, to me at this time, I'm like, what the fuck?
Helicopters is a problem. Once
Yeah.
a helicopter's coming, you know
Yeah,
something
dude,
serious is going on.
Yeah,
man.
they called helicopters.
And a lot of
bro.
times you assume the worst. You know what I mean? You assume the worst than a couple fucking young teenagers are fucking stealing from fucking the mall. You're thinking the fucking worst, you know? But
Yeah.
I guess it's protocol. It comes with the, you know, looking for someone that committed a crime.
Right,
You know?
and I mean, they were talking about Santa Anita police, so they probably didn't have shit else to do that day.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
that was big time.
That
right
was the
there.
big time that day, you know.
Yeah.
And we're hiding.
It's going down.
Yeah. So we're in the back of the fucking apartment building, bro, and we decided to just change all our shit, bro. And so, change pants, change shirt, change sweater, put on fucking.
You're good on this?
I'm good on that. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry,
Fucking, I had like faux fucking reading glasses, like they weren't really glasses, but I fucking switched everything up, bro. Took out my earrings, did the whole 9 yards. And we just split up. We're like, we can't be, because he was a black dude. So we can't be a black dude and a white dude walking together because that's already going to be a burn. So we got to split up, you know, because they already have a description of us.
Yeah.
So we split up, bro. And I remember I was walking, you know, down the street and we could hear the fucking chatter of the fucking walkie-talkies. And we could hear the chatter of the cops' fucking belts and shit like that walking around us. So we're like, fuck, dude, we're not going to fucking make it out of this, you know? And, we did, bro. We fucking made it out of it. We split up. The cops stopped me and they talked to me and I was able to play it off, you know, and I remember there was a fucking group of Asian gangsters, some watching motherfuckers, and they were all smoking stogies outside of their apartment. This is, you know, in Santa Anita, so it's, you know, it's thick over there with the watching motherfuckers, I think.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, bro, like, fucking shoot me a cigarette, bro. Can I just chill in the background right here for a minute while these fucking cops pass by and smoke a stove? They're like, nah, get the fuck out of here. We got like 3 people on fucking parole right here. You think we're gonna let somebody who's wanted by the cops chill with us?
Yeah.
And I was like, can I at least get a cigarette? And they were like, nah. I'm like, fuck, these fools are dirty. Like,
Yeah.
and you fucking Asian mother. You guys have cigarettes out your ass. I know you do. You know?
Cartons.
But yeah, so I'm walking down the street, bro, and then a fucking cruiser pulls up and he's like, hey, where you going? Home. And whatever. I was just able to, like, from my friend's house,
Play it off.
playing video games after school, like whatever. And they were like, oh, all right, you weren't at the mall today? Nah. You know, and whatever it was. But I remember that felt like the longest fucking time waiting for the bus that day because Chad and Jumbo had caught the same bus. They ended up, like, Chad went a different way and he met up with the homie. And I remember I was walking up the street, bro, and I saw them getting on the bus together, and I'm like, hey, fucking running, like whistling and shit, and the fucking bus just goes. And now I'm stuck sitting there for like that fucking bus took like forever, bro. But we ended up making it to the fucking block, dude, and like everything. That was like kind of when I would say that was the moment where I kind of gave in to my dad. You know what I mean? I was like, I can't keep doing this shit because I'm going to end up getting arrested. You know, so maybe Pops is right. Maybe I should go to school. Maybe I should get my GED. You know, maybe I should fucking take a vocational course or something like that, you know. And I did. I went and I took a vocational course. I was actually doing fucking industrial electrician, bro. And yeah, man. So, but
Can I rewind it and ask you a question, bro?
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask you when you first said this, bro. And sorry, we got a fly in here, dog. I mean, this is the first time we have a fly in here, dog.
It's me, bro.
Yeah.
It came with me.
It came with you. It might have been on that beard, dog.
It might have been in the beard.
Hey, but anyways, when you guys got that phone call from your pops, you said it was a prison call, and it was him calling up and telling your mom, "Hey, I'm HIV positive." I mean, what was the conversation had after that between you and your mom, and just what was the like initial reaction? You know, like with do you recall any of that?
I remember it was. I mean, just to not to be dramatic about it, but I remember there was some devastation in there. You know
I mean,
what
you can be dramatic about it because
Yeah.
that's something serious, brother.
Yeah, there was like some like, you know, like your heart just fell out, bro. Like, because like I said, at that moment, that was a death sentence, bro. That was not like something that you heard like, It's like we're in the middle of COVID right now. Do you know anybody that has COVID? No, I don't know anybody that has COVID, but fucking 200,000 motherfuckers died from this shit. But HIV at that time was like, no, I don't know anybody who has HIV, but like 30 million people have died from this shit. You know what I mean? So it was like a whole different, like, fuck, this is a death sentence. You know what I mean? Like, so we really, I personally at that time, I didn't expect my dad to make it till he got out of fucking prison. You know?
And how did he contract that?
So if you ask my dad, he contracted that through heroin use, through needles. If you ask me, there might have been some other shit going on because my dad kind of like once we established a relationship after he got out, he kind of confided in me that he had girlfriends in prison, you know. And so I wasn't sure. I mean, I'm a pretty open-minded dude. Like, I'm not like trying to knock anybody for their fucking preference or whatever like that. So I was kind of like, okay, like, and his girlfriend's name was J-Lo, like fucking J-Lo, bro. So I was like, okay, did he get it from needles or is he doing some other funny shit that got him that shit? So I never really got to the bottom of that, but I'm gonna say that I'm pretty confident that it was probably needles. And then like being in the HIV ward when he was in prison probably led him to the side projects with these people in prison. You know what I mean?
Side projects, in other words, J-Lo, the girlfriends in prison.
Right, because you're now in that unit where like, you know, where all the homosexuals are, or where all the whatevers are. You know what I mean? So I think that kind of led to that. I'm not sure though.
Wow, that alone right there, brother, is like mind blowing and very, very traumatic to anyone's mental state. But when you're that fucking young, bro, you know, that right there is a fucking, like, that just blows me away, bro. That anyone, and he confided in you saying that, hey, when I was in prison, you know, I had girlfriends, you know.
Yeah.
You know, he's using heroin, and you know, I remember in the penitentiary I would trip because sometimes I see older homies, and they would have these thing called binkies. They're kind of like just like self-made fucking things they would use to shoot up heroin with, and these dudes would be back to back, you know, still blood on the fucking needle, bro.
This next person.
And the next person slamming their dose of fucking heroin, bro. You know what I mean? And that alone right there, bro, it would just blow my mind, bro. That alone right there, I've never stuck a needle in my arm in my fucking life. I never fucking will. I don't like shots. Yeah, I got tattoos, but that ain't a needle in the motherfucking vein. I always felt like if you had, I got high for so many years, but I always felt that if I had to stick a needle in my arm to get to the next level of being high, bro, then whoa, I was doing way too much, you know? I had at least a little bit, I had enough sense in my head to feel that way, you know, in regards to that. But that is a crazy piece of information by itself, bro. You know, getting that phone call, finding out later what it is. Pops confides in his son that he's cracking the whip on, that I had, like, I mean, some people keep those skeletons way deep in their fucking closet, but for some reason he felt that he had to confide in you and tell you that, and that is just, that's crazy, bro. You would think he'd take that shit to the grave with them, brother. I mean, why would he tell his fucking son that, bro? That I had fucking girlfriends in prison.
I think it was his preference, bro. Because the main girlfriend that he had after he was out of prison, he never would bring me around her to the point where I could make a full-on observation of who this person was. But the only glimpses that I saw of her, it was always a doubt. Is that a dude? Or is that not a dude?
So these were kind of like transvestites almost?
Or like, yeah, something like that. Or
like
I don't know if it's I don't know if...
Like very feminine men?
Yeah. Like very feminine, but like, you know, full on long hair, dressed like a female, all that whole 9 yards.
And that Adam's apple was hanging out like a fucking nutsack.
I don't even know if I was smart enough to look at that at the time, but there's still doubt to this day that homegirl wasn't a dude to me. You know what I mean? I think that was a dude. And I think that's maybe why he mentioned it to me, because he was trying to kind of fill out whether or not he could be open about his situation with his girlfriend with me or not.
So you are around that. I'm gonna let you wait until we get into that part, but you end up moving in with your mom with Dildo Man. He's making full-on machines that for himself.
For himself, yeah.
For himself.
Can we clarify that?
I'm sorry about that post, dog. You know what I mean?
The caption, man, I was like, this caption, it says, for his pleasure. I'm like, whose pleasure? It wasn't for my motherfucking pleasure.
I mean,
it was for Dildo Man's pleasure.
And bro, check it out, dog. As far as we go back, no how, no way did I have intention to paint a picture that would make you ever look like that. I have the utmost love and respect for you, dog. You know what I mean? So I apologize about that caption, dog. You know what I mean? Which, from what you tell me and from another comment that I didn't pay too much attention to, dog, they possibly could have got mis-screwed or whatever you call it, but yeah.
We ain't no English majors over here.
Yeah, not at all, bro.
We don't know who the subject of a sentence is. What the fuck? That shit left us in 7th grade, man.
Yeah, for sure, dog. But I mean, it's almost surprising, bro, that you didn't come out from that thing like a little fucked up in regards to your sexuality and your preference. I mean, did that ever cross your mind?
No, man, it never crossed my mind. I've always been, I've always been pretty much like an open-minded person. I never had any like homophobic type of fucking vibe to me or like transphobic type of vibe to me. I've always been pretty understanding of, let people do their own thing. So I think when my dad told me that, like, it didn't shock me as much as probably he was expecting it to shock me. You know what I mean? Like, so I was kind of like, I was curious about it. I asked him like, oh, so like, did she have a fucking dick or what the fuck? And he was like, no, yeah, she did. I'm like, okay, so how the fuck did that work though? And it's like, well, I wasn't a taker. She was a taker. You know what I mean? So I kind of like, okay, well, maybe.
So you guys have that conversation.
Yeah, we had the full conversation because, I mean, if you're going to bring it up to me, I'm going to fucking ask some questions. You know what I mean? So we had that full on conversation, and, he basically broke it down in the sense of like, she was taking care of him, ironing his shit, making him food.
Just like prison.
Just like
prison.
And, being that they were in the HIV ward, they were a little bit, it was like minimum security type of deal. So they were able to like, request their own fucking celly or whatever.
Plain house.
Yeah, they were playing house. That's basically what it came
Plain
down to.
house in prison. That's fucking nuts, bro.
Yeah.
That's nuts. And did you ever, like, in your pops has HIV, you're there with your grandma knows this, it's a clear fact to your aunt, to everybody. I mean, how do you live with a person that has HIV? Do you not drink out? Is there designated silverware? I mean, what is the level of protection, paranoia, protection that you use in that type of environment? Or is it just like, what, that's pops, like you just...
Well, I mean, maybe there was a little bit of apprehension, a little bit of being nervous about shit like that in the beginning because we weren't really sure. But I can tell you 100% by the time I was in my 20s or whatever, me and Pops used to smoke a joint and we would pass it back and forth and I didn't think twice about it. You know what I mean? Because I was pretty comfortable with knowing how it's transmitted. You know what I mean?
You educated yourself.
I educated myself on it. And again, I don't know if it's just because I have that type of like open type of mentality or whatever, but it didn't really, I mean, I figured, fuck, if Magic Johnson can go back to the NBA after he got HIV, then there's no way me fucking slapping my dad or shaking my dad's hand or giving my dad a hug is going to give me AIDS or give me HIV. You know what I mean? Because we're not fucking blood on blood or whatever. You know what I mean? So,
did you love your dad?
I love my dad, bro.
When you hugged him, like, was there that just like you felt the love?
I did feel the love for my dad, bro, but it took a while for me to let him in. You know what I mean? Even though like he was telling me shit like this, and I think that's part of like why he told me some of those things, because he was trying to like knock down the wall that I had up with him.
Just let you know what it is.
Yeah, hey man, like we're gonna be real about this, you know. So I loved my dad, bro, but I really admired my dad. I think is what it was. I admired how much my dad fought. You know what I mean? I admired that. You know, my dad, even though he did eventually become a statistic of HIV, of AIDS, he fought it for fucking 17 years or something, 18 years. Let's see, what year? He died in 2016. You know, so we're talking about 1998 to 2016 when he came out of prison in 1998. So that's what, 18 years, you know. He lived
and he passed from having HIV.
He passed from... Yeah, there was a whole slew of things, bro. It got really bad at the end. It was pretty sad. You know, there were some things at the end that I wish I could have changed. There were some things at the end that I wish I would have put my foot down on with my family, and it's led to a lot of fallout with my family. You know.
And what are some of those things, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah. So one of the major things that I regret the most is. So my dad started suffering from seizures, and he started getting, he had spinal meningitis, and that's, I don't know if that's a direct symptom of, or a direct correlation to AIDS or HIV, but he wasn't able to fight it off, you know, and so he started getting early onset dementia at, probably in his 50s. I guess he was in his 50s, right? I mean, yeah, he was in his 50s. So once he started having these seizures, he wasn't himself. He was in the shell of his body, and he was just absent. Like, I remember there was times where I would come home, and I was living at my grandma's house, but I was sleeping in the living room, and I would come home, and my dad would be sitting on the sofa where I slept, and he would just be shuffling through his cards in his wallet, like. And you'd be like, Pops, hey, it's 2 a.m, dude. Like, you've been shuffling those cards in your wallet for the last 3 hours. Like, let's go to bed, you know? Let me take you to bed. Let me try to get you to bed. And it was like he was just gone, bro. So he eventually got moved into hospice care. And one of the things that I regret the most about when he was in hospice care is that I didn't visit him enough. Because I felt like he wasn't there for my early life, and then he was there for a few years, or for quite a while, you know, by that time, but I just couldn't see him that way.
You still had resentment.
It wasn't like really a resentment towards him. It was I didn't want to see him in that condition type of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'll never forget, like the day that he passed, bro. We get a call at the house, and for some reason I had answered the house phone. I had my cell phone and everything. I never answered the house phone, but I answered the house phone this day, and it's at Grandma's pad, and they say, hey, this is such and such hospice care. We're calling in regards to Mario Chosa. And I was like, yeah, that's my dad. And I was like, oh, this is Scott. We never see you down here. I'm like, yeah, this is Scott. And they're like, oh, okay, well, your pops is not doing too good today. He hasn't wanted to eat all day long. And, you know, we give you guys a courtesy call just to let you know when he has good days and bad days. Today's definitely a bad day. So I brought it up to my grandma, and she was like, you know, she's super religious, you know, so she goes, oh, he's having a bad day because you didn't visit him. You never visit him. That's why he just wants to see you. But Grandma was on top of it, dude. Grandma would go down and bring him his lunch and see him every day. And so she guilt tripped me. You know, she guilt tripped me into going down there. So I went down there, and I went into, and he fucking lit up, bro. It was heartbreaking. He fucking lit up. He was like, he could barely talk, and he was like, that's my son. That's my son. Like if he had been telling all those motherfuckers in that hospice that he had a son, and none of them fucking believed him because I was never there, and I was there, so he was making sure everybody knew this is his fucking son, you know? And it surprised me because he didn't really remember me before he went into hospice because he had the dementia going on and all that shit. So I didn't expect him to remember me, but I guess it had been so long that he fucking remembered me, you know? And so I went in there and I spent the afternoon, maybe a couple hours with him, cut his fucking fingernails, tried to feed him, you know, watched a little bit of a Dodger game with them. Me and my pops, we really bonded over the fucking Dodgers, you know? So even to this day, like I fucking watch Dodger games thinking of my fucking pops, you know? And so I spent the afternoon with them, dude, and then I went home and I did whatever the rest of the day, just went about my business. And about 11, 12 o'clock at night, a call to my cell phone. I had made arrangements from that time on because they had said that my dad wasn't doing too well. I gave them my cell phone number. I said, don't call the house anymore. I don't want my grandma to be the one to answer this fucking phone call. Call my cell phone, you know? So they called my cell phone and they were like, is this Scott, dude? And I'm like, yeah, this is him. They're like, your dad passed away. And so I fucking, you know, it turned into this whole fucking thing, dude, where it's kind of like, how do we tell grandma? Because she was the one that was really like fucking gonna take it the worst. So we figured it out or whatever, but what ultimately ended up happening was, and this is kind of like where the whole situation with my dad's side of the family kind of like fell apart. You know what I mean? Because my dad had already told me for years, you know, we're talking, he had HIV for like I said, like fucking 19 years that we knew of. Who knows how long he had it before he fucking found out he had it. And then at this point, it's been like 16, 17 years that he's been out with it, out of prison with it. So we had a lot of conversations over those years about what his wishes were. And one of his wishes, he had two things. He wanted to be cremated, and he either wanted to have his ashes thrown up in Big Bear Lake, or Venice at fucking Santa Monica at Venice Beach. And it's illegal, but whatever, we were gonna make it happen for him, right? But this is kind of where the shit started to hit the fan with his side of the family, was the fact that grandma was so religious that she wouldn't have that shit. She decided that she was gonna do the full-on Catholic thing. And I basically got strong-armed by my whole family into making the decision, because being the first of kin, I had the legal right to do whatever the fuck I wanted with his ashes. Yeah. It wasn't their decision, it was my decision. So aunts, uncles, everybody else was kind of like in this situation of, you gotta make this decision for your grandma. And I was like, no, I gotta make this decision for my fucking dad. This is what he wanted, not what fucking grandma wants, you know? And so that's kind of where the whole situation with that side of the family kind of just took a fucking turn. You know what I mean? It was just, it went from, you know, I mean, there was other shit involved there. I wasn't the best fucking guy to have living in the house. I wasn't as helpful as I could be and all the bullshit that, you know, that happens. But that was really where I disconnected from them, you know, because I got strong-armed basically into making a decision that was not what he wanted. Yeah. His dying wish. We couldn't even fulfill a fucking man's dying wish. We had to fulfill what his mom wanted as his dying wish, you know? So, yeah, man, that was like, I remember being at the fucking cemetery and just being forced to sign those, not forced, like they weren't fucking forcing me, but just guilt tripped into fucking signing those papers to make sure that he was going to be buried there, or he was going to have, not buried, but he has a spot on the wall or whatever. And yeah, man, it was.
I mean, when it comes to like death and family members, there's always, I mean, not always, but I mean, it seems like it's pretty common, bro, for there to be discrepancies within the family in regards to wishes and what should be done and who's going to pay for this and who's going to pay for that.
That was the other thing.
And who was close, who was there. You weren't there for him, or bop, bop, bop. You know, I mean, I experienced a little of that with when my grandmother passed. I seen a little bit of that in my family, you know what I mean, which was not shocking to see, right? Yeah. You know, but I mean, how ultimately, you know what I mean, when he passed, was it a relief? Was it weight off the back? I mean, was it like it's over with?
It's over with. Yeah, it was definitely that, for sure. You know, it's over with. And, you know, like you said, I'm kind of a reserved guy, but I mean, at that time, I cried the night that he passed away. I may have shed a tear at the funeral, but I wasn't a mess. You know what I mean? I kind of took it on the chin and kind of just fucking took a deep breath and fucking took it. So, but Yeah, man, it was definitely something that was like, I think I let the family dynamic overrule like the grieving process. I kept that fuck these people type of mentality.
Yeah, you held a grudge.
I held a grudge.
You hold it to this day.
I don't talk to my grandma anymore, bro. I
And
don't talk to her anymore, and,
You-
and
do-
I regret it. I regret it. I mean, she's reached out to me recently, left me a voicemail and saying that blah blah blah. She loves me, she misses me, and all this stuff. But like, I just can't. I just can't, bro. It'd be fake. If I did it, it would be fake. You know what
You're
I mean?
still upset about that situation.
I'm upset about that, and I'm upset about how you know I was a bad fucking person to have in the house because I wasn't helping financially. I'll admit that, right? I wasn't helping. Like, I have my job, but
I mean, you're a teenage kid, bro.
no. This is later, bro.
Okay.
This is later.
Okay, this is later.
This is after. This is after the PAs and everything.
So you're okay, but you're a young adult.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, you're a young adult finding your way in this fucked up world that was presented to you. So, I mean, you can't be held 100% accountable to a kid that's, you know what I mean, been through these fucking traumatizing fucking events in his fucking young life. But, you know, I get what you're saying. And I'm kind of I'm on your side with the shit, dog. I feel your pain. I mean, you my homie, dog. And I when you're talking right now, dog, I feel it, bro. You know, but what I'm trying to say is, maybe you should. I mean, it's been years since your father's passed. I mean, maybe
4.5 years.
I mean, who knows how long grandma's gonna be around? You know, I have regrets with my grandma because. She used to call me up. She'd be like, "Oh, mijo, you know, blah blah blah." You know, I mean, this time when I got out, I've been out for 7 years or so, and she'd be just like, "Oh, you know," I'd be like, "Yeah, grandma, we're gonna go. Well, I'm gonna go over there. We're gonna get something to eat. I'm gonna go over there. We're gonna get something to eat. I'm gonna go over there. No, you know, we'll go get something to eat. You know." And I was just kind of caught up in trying to get my life together and on my feet, and I have regret on not, you know what I mean, following through enough with my shit. But I just want to throw that out there, dog. Like, just understand, you know, that I don't know. Maybe you should just give her a chance, bro. I mean,
Yeah, you know what? I did. I mean, the last time she called me, I really felt bad for ignoring that voicemail. I mean, I listened to it, but I didn't respond to it. So I don't know. It's considered ignoring it, I guess, you know, because I didn't really respond to it.
Yeah.
But I mean, there was also, I mean, I don't want to make excuses for shit, but she kicked me out, bro. She kicked me out like 6 months after my dad died. I had just got thrown on child support. I really had no money, and I got kicked out basically, you know, because my aunt wanted the bedroom for her daughter, and it was an ultimatum: either he leaves or I'm not going to pay any rent. And I got kicked out, and when I got kicked out, it was such a big ordeal that I told my grandma. And I've been one of these guys that kind of like sticks to this when I tell somebody some shit. It's like, if you kick me out of this fucking house, you're never going to see me or my kids again. I hope you know the decision you're making right now. And I'm so fucking stubborn that I've stuck to it, bro.
yeah, hey, bro, I hear you, bro. You know, to be getting kicked out of a crib and shit, you know what I mean? And you don't know where you're going to from there and shit, right? You know what I mean? Can tend to be fucking painful, and sometimes it's hard to let certain things go. And I've been in plenty of those situations where maybe I hold on to shit to this day as well, dog, with my family, bro. You know.
Yeah.
But I think it's vice versa to a certain point. But we kind of jump forward to your pops' passing, right? Rewind it back a little. You know, you're going back and forth to your from grandma's house to Dildo Man, because mom is now living with Dildo Man.
So
mom is now an item with fucking Mr. It's I'm not gay, my boyfriend is gay,
Right.
dude, right?
Right. Yeah.
You know.
And so so when shit started to get heated with my dad, where he was trying to like control what I was doing, like with the curfew, I mentioned like curfew and this and that. I would vent to mom and be like, "Mom, like I really can't fucking take it here, blah 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 blah." And I'm a fucking teenager, you know. Dad thought I was gang affiliated, thanks to fucking one of the homies. So it was hard to really break him of that. One of the homies had called up like. The homie Jumbo, actually, he called up the pad one day and he thought it was me that answered. Me and my dad kind of had a similar cadence to the way we talked and a similar voice, so he thought it was me. So he was fucking around, like, yo, what's up, Wolfie? And nobody, like, I understand why they would call me Wolfie, because obviously I have fucking hair and fucking, I mean, not back then, but I mean, I can see why. But, like, honestly, nobody really called me Wolfie. Like, nobody was actually fucking calling me Wolfie. That was the first time I ever heard that fool say it. Oh, I didn't even hear him say it. But
he was just clowning.
He was just clowning.
Yeah.
So my dad never got that out of his head that I was Wolfie. You know what I mean? So it kind of like, he was trying to get overprotective in a sense. So that kind of started the whole I can't fucking live here type of mentality. I can't fucking live here. This dude, like if I'm 5 minutes late, he's all up in my fucking grill. Fuck this dude. Like, I remember one time, dude, I was going to the East LA Occupational Center and I was taking my fucking GED classes and I was doing the industrial electrician classes and I was fucking slinging weed and fucking, I used to have a homeboy over there that used to sell me a quarter pound flat a fucking time or whatever. And I would roll up joints, bro. I would roll up like fucking shitload of joints and I would just fucking slang joints to people like around, like, hey, fucking homie, like, hey, let me grab a joint. And I'm like, all right, fucking here, boom, boom, boom. And fucking one time my dad found my fucking stash, bro. And he fucking took that shit, and then come to find out the next day that the fucking homegirls that lived up the street were fucking smoking out with my dad on my fucking joints. You know what I mean? So there was always some weird shit like that. Like, you're cool, like, if you're cool smoking weed with other 15, 16-year-olds, why can't you be cool smoking weed with me? Like, what the fuck? Why are you taking my shit to go smoke with other people? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, like, so...
So you vent. So you're venting to your mom about, hey, I can't live with this dude,
right?
And she tells you, well, come stay with me and fucking
stay
Dillo, man.
over here,
yeah,
at homie's house, and you know, I could kind of tell right off the bat that I wasn't really like open arms there. You know what I mean? Because originally I was staying in the in his fucking office. I didn't have my own room at the beginning. There was, I mean, you know the layout.
So this dude, real quick, let me take a pause real quick because I have to pee. You know what I mean? Let's take a pause. You got a piss too? Yeah. Okay, let's take a pause real quick, and we'll come right back. Let me go first, and then you go, dog. You know what I mean?
Old ass man, I need my glasses to see what you guys are saying up there. Andrew Martinez, go pee together. That's not gay. I don't know, bro. He doesn't have a trough in there. He doesn't have a trough in there. He just has a single toilet, so it might be a little gay, bro.
What's up, everybody? Sorry about that. You know, I mean, little break right here. Lucky needs bathroom music. Yeah, let's put some bathroom music on it. Why not? You know what I mean? Appreciate you guys, everybody tapping in right now. All 110 of you guys. If you guys ever want to find my music, you can look on all digital platforms. Lucky Sun Zoo, and I uploaded a lot of music. Lucky a Fool, You Just Never Know with him. What up, Big Scott? Okay, yeah. I see you guys. The Goonies. Shout out to my Goonies right here. You know what I mean? Everyone jumping in on the chat now. Yeah, they always jump in on this chat. They always do. You know what I mean? Little Mark, hopefully he ain't taking a poop. I mean, Yeah. The Goonies. I see you, motherfuckers. Let's play a song real quick. What do you guys want to hear? You guys want to hear something I got right here? Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got in the vault real quick. Let's play this right here. Why not? Let me see. Day 3. Let's go to like this. Real quick.
Show me move the ocean, show me who the coldest, show me all the heads of my enemies focus.
Show me all the heads of my enemies focus. Your dialect is crazy. This overcast day, my cemetery shady. These powerful men, why you do them like that? You ain't even his kin. You ain't never spilled blood. You ain't never showed love. He the right-hand man to the man above.
The Lord, the mighty, the sword will bite you. Armor is steel, heartless, I kill. They're coming for your soul. Sweet talker, can you smell the powder burning bones? You out your damn mind, take that monologue home.
I take it, I give it. I'm a creature with limits. You a fisherman fishing. The power of pussy is not to continue. They sit and they sliver. They hiss when we enter.
The lies and the truth, righteous never confused.
You powerless.
Can I get a moment of your time? Smoke a little, life's a game of chess. Drugs, guns, who just got me on the run? Let me shine a little light. Can I get a moment of your time? Smoke a little, life's a game of chess. Drugs, guns, who just got me on the run? Let me shine a little light. I grew up on the 50s, I love my whole city. Got the little ones with me, I ain't going back to prison. House with a yard, I get my own unlocks, I walk my own yard. I'm Figaro and filthy. Where I come from, dog, everybody's filthy. Get your hands dirty with them concrete burpees. Beer runs and licks. My heart was made, dog, with every single brick. Legend in my own. I get my little shine on. Got a house loan. I see a hater smiling, broke with a mouth full. Run with my ninjas, used to gun with my ninjas. Used to split top ramens on the hood with my ninjas. Can I get a moment of your time? Smoke a little, life's a game of chess. Drugs, guns, who just got me on the run? Let me shine a little light. Can I get a moment of your time? Smoke a little, life's a game of chess. Drugs, guns, who just got me on the run? Let me shine a little light. A 53 Tortas, Johnny's on the corner. Fidel was on the block. Pizza so hot, cheese slide right off. Terrace 49, I got a creature state of mind. Monta Vista Pat, you need to keep a loaded 9. Maury's on Fig, used to cop the Cortez, you know the Chino got the kicks. Sitting in the park, you my son, I'm the shine. Rolling down the boulevard, palm tree line, bro. Call me anytime. Jack Dixon Coke, we can build on it.
Welcome back to Hood Stocks. Little piss break real quick, you know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Sometimes, yeah. Shout out to everybody tapping in right there. Have your tunes on my phone. Thank you, John McHugh. Appreciate you.
Y'all don't know Lucky's tunes until you've been in my bedroom at the age of 18 years old while this dude was making his first mixtape. All hours of the day, just up in my he thought my fucking shit was a recording studio, I think. I came to make it bloody, not giving a motherfucker.
That's when I was a fucking the worst rapper in the fucking world, but I was just like I was on one. I was on the streets. I was slanging dope. I was pushing dope.
Thank you, Thea. Thank you, Thea. I see you.
I always had always a strap on me. You know what I mean? I was just 100%, you know, about that life, and I was trying to make music, you know what I mean? And sometimes I find spots to set my little computer up and shit, and his was one of the spots, and you know what I mean? I don't know how pleased he was about it. I'm sure
it was cool.
Yeah, there it is. There, good. Shout out to my boy for that, because sometimes I've been in fools places and they were like, I would think like, I don't think they really don't want me here, but I got my shit here anyway. You know what I mean?
The only time I didn't want your ass there was when your ass would show up on a fucking good one at like 3 a.m, and my ass had to work in the next morning, and this fool would show up with like 3 people trying to record a track, and I'm like, motherfucker, you're all sitting in my bed while I'm sleeping, like.
Yeah, I remember that shit. That shit is crazy, dog.
But
sorry about that, my boy.
Yeah.
But we got the air conditioner going on now right now because it started getting a little fucking hot in this bitch.
It was very hot in this bitch.
Hopefully it cools down right now. But anyway, so moving into
the jumping back and forth. Right?
No, it's okay. Sometimes you got to do that,
jumping
bro.
back and forth between to home dude pad. And
Jumping back and forth to the pad, and so now you're living with your mom in Dildo Man.
Right, and like I said, he wasn't too open arms, happy to have me there. I think he was just happy that he had his fucking, his fuck buddy, and he was gonna take the fuck buddy with any strings attached, and I was one of the strings. Me and my brother were a string attached to his fuck buddy, so he accepted it.
I hate to, I don't really want to repeat this, but saying the fuck buddy was your mom.
Was my mom.
Yeah. So he was into other things, but at the same time, it's convenient to have also, that person there whenever he wasn't doing his other thing with his machines or whatever, right?
Right.
And so, so check it out. I know this house. This house is a big house in Eagle Rock. It's a known house. All the tweakers are going to this house day and night. But mind you, this dude that he's talking about, Dildo Man, that he moved in with now because his mom is there and they're, partners and whatever they're doing, getting high and once in a while maybe doing their thing, this dude is a fucking genius. Would you say he's close to a genius?
I would say he's pretty. Yeah, I would say he's a genius. I would say he's pretty close to a genius.
Yeah, this dude, he got arrested for this, I believe. But he was one of those tweakers they would commit crimes, but he wasn't committing crimes that the gang members were committing. Like gang members going with guns and they rob a liquor store. They do this. They hit and connect. They're doing this. This dude was a sophisticated thief. He was taking, I think one time he was taking Pasadena City light poles. He was taking the light poles because of the poles. Mind you, they are still in light poles because they are made of this certain type of material. Him and this other dude, I know what they would do is they would hook their truck up to vending machines from the bumper.
They stole the empty ATM machine. Yeah, I mean,
is that on there right now?
Yeah.
Remember when they stole the empty ATM machine? Like, there's people that know these dudes. These dudes were doing different types of crimes to get their dope money and keep the party fucking going, right? I mean, these dudes, they're not drug dealers because they're drug addicts. You know what I mean? I'm the first one to say that it's hard to be a good drug dealer when you're a drug addict. Why? Because you're always getting high off your own supply, and then when the party just doesn't end. Tweaker parties do not end. They end when you go to prison, and they end when you wake the fuck out and you just fucking fall flat on your face and go to sleep right then and there because you've been up way too motherfucking long. Yes. But anyways, so it's a party that just doesn't fucking end. But so this is a different side of the criminal side when it comes to the Los Angeles drug scene. These dudes are committing fucking different type of crimes, which is fucking nuts. But anyway, so he moves in with this dude. He's a fucking weirdo. He makes machines. I mean, how did you know about that, or would you just hear about it? Because you're living. His room is upstairs from your room. It's a 2-story place. It's a big fucking layout. This fucking house is. I guess it was passed down from his fucking parents or whatnot. You know what I mean? Right. They had this house forever, alongside of a hill and shit, where there's nicer houses, right? And there's tweakers going in and out of this motherfucking bitch all hours of the fucking night. But so your room was in the bottom, his was on the top. Would you hear these machines going on? Like, what was the environment, bro?
I mean, the environment was like nonstop. Like you said, it was always people in and out. It was always, random. I said he was the first person that introduced me to the fucking Tweaker Shuffle. But like, I saw a lot of Tweaker Shuffle once I was living in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I saw a lot of that 2-step forward, 1-step back, 3-step forward, 2-step back shit when I was living there. But the environment, basically, like you said, like I didn't know right away that dude had machines and shit like that. I remember, before, when I was still working at that pet shop, I was, it was already starting to bounce back and forth there. And I remember, there was times where I would come home and I would just be faded because home dude fucking smoked me out at work or whatever. And like, I would just get into shit. Like I would just be curious and start opening up closet doors and fucking looking around for shit. And I found like a whole fucking array of fucking butt plugs and a fucking blow up sheep. bro. That he
A
had
blow up sheep?
A blow up sheep, bro. He had a fucking blow up sheep in his fucking closet. And there was just fucking butt plugs and blow up sheeps, bro. Like just one blow up sheep. I'm not gonna say there was multiple blow up sheep, but you know.
I mean, motherfuckers clown about fucking sheeps. You know what I mean? Like you put their hind legs in your boots. You know what I mean? And they say sheep pussy feels like regular pussy. You know what I mean? But obviously he had a fixation. He had a fantasy that, I mean, where do you fucking find a blow up sheep, dog? That's weird, bro.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I mean, like, yeah, you put their feet in the boots, and the other thing is you take them to the edge of a cliff, right? And you push them forward, and those motherfuckers will walk back.
What the fuck? How do you know this?
I mean, fuck, I'm almost 40 years old, bro. You hear all kinds of random shit. I think I learned that from some fool fucking from Mexico, bro, probably. You take them to a cliff, and they fucking push them, and they're not going to fall off that cliff. They're going to walk back, you know?
That's absolutely disgusting, man.
But,
just to let you guys know.
You know, like, yeah, man, like, I don't know if I really started to understand stuff until one day, like I said, I was kind of just snooping around, and I found a full-on video, bro. A full-on video. Like, dude was fucking plowing himself in the ass in this video, like. And, I mean, not to say that I watched it for, like, you know, more than a minute, because I probably didn't watch it for more than a minute, but it was enough to know that dude was fucking plowing himself in the ass and fucking and loving it. You know what I mean? Like, he was enjoying that shit. So, you know, I kind of got like, and that's, you know, kind of around the same time where I started to discover all these fucking weird, like, butt plugs and the fucking sheep and fucking, and then, you know, I started connecting the I'm not gay, my boyfriend is, and I started connecting the hard dicks and airplanes comments, you know, to each other. And we're talking like, this is what now, like 3 years later, right? Like after that initial, you know, greeting, that initial like encounter. So, like, bro, like, I mean, yeah, man, like, I don't know if in that, I don't, fuck, bro, I want to say maybe that video did feature a fucking machine, bro. I think that video did have a machine in it, bro. And yeah, man, like, I mean, sorry to say, man, like, I started to find other shit. Like, I don't know why I kept looking, you know what I mean? Because I wasn't, like, interested in fucking seeing this dude fuck himself in the ass. But I think, you know, because then originally I was staying in his office. I wasn't staying in his room. But where I found this video and where I found the sheep and where I found the butt plugs and all that shit was in his room. So I was kind of going out of bounds, you know what I mean? So it wasn't like he had this shit where I was staying. I was going out of bounds. So I don't remember if this was probably before I moved in officially, and I was kind of just sleeping around the house here and there occasionally. Yeah. And he wasn't around, so my mom let me sleep in his bedroom when I was there. He wasn't there or some shit. Maybe he was doing a little fucking 2-month stint or something like that or whatever at that time. Yeah. So I was staying in his bedroom, and yeah, man, like, fuck, dude, like, I started looking around, and I noticed, like, so when I finally moved into his office, which was on the bottom floor, I found a bunch of shit on his computer. And, you know, this is kind of where I decided that I was going to stop being fucking nosy, because I found some shit with my mom in it. And I was like, okay, you know what I mean? Like, you know, this is not cool. Like, I found some shit, like, with other people, which was like, oh, fuck, you know, you're 16 years old, 17 years old. You don't fucking, this is like before internet was popping like it is now, where you can just fucking go to Pornhub, you know what I mean? So it's like, oh fuck, look, like, this fucking chick is fucking taking it. Like, oh, I know that chick. Like, that shit was kind of cool. But then I bumped into some other shit, and I was just like, okay, you know what I mean? Like, I gotta fucking stop this shit. So this
curiosity needs to fucking end, like, right now. Yeah, that's fucking that's fucking crazy, bro. I mean, you know, I mean, not every kid experiences shit like that, bro. Did you ever meet that one dude? I think they called him Bam Bam, and he would I think he would show up. This dude would get tweaked the fuck out, and in the daytime he'd be a fucking burly, big fucking white dude, like
he looked like Tiger King, kind of
like 6'5", fucking just swole the fuck up, and he'd be wrenching on fucking trucks. And then he'd be up for a certain amount of time, and this dude would fucking dress up as a fucking woman, you know, and he would go to that house
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
wouldn't he?
no, they. I don't know who it was. If it was his significant other, or I mean, it was a chick. So I don't know if it was his girlfriend or whatever the fuck the situation was. But they had a pad, I think, down by the Rose Bowl, and I remember one night for whatever reason or another, they decided that. I mean, I voluntarily went. I wasn't like forced to go or anything, but they wanted me to sleep over, and I went over to that pad one time with that fool, like, but nothing fucking funny happened, nothing weird happened, but I thought it was weird, like, I don't really know this fool, and like, now he's asking, like, if I want to spend the night at this fucking fancy-ass house by the Rose Bowl and shit, so I went. I didn't really think about it, and like, honest to God, like, no fucking weird shit happened, you know what I mean, but
Yeah,
I know that guy,
Yeah, I mean, it's I mean, drugs, bro. Drugs. This is just a testament to fucking to drugs, man. Drugs will really, really, like, you know, fuck you up, you know. And these, I don't know what the ending story is for some of these cats that you know that's coming up in this story, you know. But it's just fucking. This world is fucking crazy. This world is weird, man. And not everybody has a story like you have, bro. You know that somehow, some way, you are amongst all this fucking weird ass fucking shit. This crazy, like, life dealt you a funny hand, bro. You know, and somehow, some way, bro. Excuse me. You were able to just like make it through. Like, I mean, make it through this shit, bro. You know, and not get caught up in the prison system, not end up, you know, tweak the fuck out.
Yeah, that was something that was really important to me, to be honest. You know, like, I really, like, not to, like, again, I'm not really one to, like, you know, try and say, you know, I'm better than this person or I'm better than that person or whatever. I'm really not that person at all. But that was something that was really, like, a strong feeling that I had growing up in that environment, especially in those years where I didn't like anything about what was going on. You know what I mean? Like, I saw what was going on, and I didn't like anything about it. I didn't like the way the people looked. I didn't like the way I smoked weed. I smoked weed on a fucking daily basis, and you can fuck when you're smoking weed. You can fucking sleep when you're smoking weed, and you can fucking eat when you're on weed. Like, and the couple of times that I did fuck around with smoking fucking meth, you couldn't do any of those things. I couldn't fuck. I couldn't fucking eat. I couldn't sleep. And to me, it was just one of these situations where it's like, I see how much it fucked up everybody's life around here, that I don't see the fucking benefit of this. You know what I mean? Like, I don't see the benefit, just besides having friends that would fucking be cool with you a little bit more, maybe because you fucked around. But like, you know, I mean, that's kind of like, everybody kind of knew me for that too. So I created my own lane in that environment because everybody that came around knew not to offer me anything, knew not that I was going to say no, not because I was a bitch, just because I thought you guys looked like fucking idiots. You know what I mean? Like, It wasn't anything about being a bitch about it. I mean, I did smoke. I smoked a few times, you know what I mean? But I just thought it was fucking stupid. And I think that's kind of like, I mean, I think that's kind of why me and you maybe initially connected, because, you know, you're a down-to-earth fucking dude too, and maybe you were caught up in that fucking scene at that time, but I think when you came to that pad and you had somebody that you could just smoke a joint with and fucking vibe to music with, it gave you like a different fucking, it wasn't just fucking Dildo Man and his fucking weird cast of characters, right? Like, I feel like that's why, like, it brought me closer to certain people. Like, I have another homie, like, fucking Jason, that came out of there too, right? Like, he was my homie for the longest fucking time. I would do everything with this fool except the fucking drugs. You know what I mean? Like, I would do everything. You want to go fucking steal fucking this thing from a fucking thing? Okay, whatever. Let's go fucking do it.
Yeah, I noticed you were always down to roll when I met you, bro. But it was just such a trip about this dude right here. Let me tell you guys something right now. This dude right here was living in this fucking environment. And he was always known, like he said, you know, I'll put the stamp of approval on it and fuck what I'm saying, but believe what he's saying, you know. But I'm just saying, I saw it firsthand experience, you know. Like, he was somehow, some way, bro, you're living in that environment. He would always hold a fucking job. You were always holding a job. And like you said, sometimes I would come and you had to sleep the next morning, and here I am fucking on a good one with a fucking, with my entourage, you know what I mean, of fucking tweakers and shit and fucking gang members and fucking criminals and fucking hood rats and all that shit, you know, and I'd be like, let's go kick it at the homie spot, you know. No, but I'm just saying, you were always known to somehow, some way, not get sucked up in that shit, bro. And like you said, you said why you didn't get sucked in, because you thought it was stupid, you know? It didn't make no fucking sense to you, you know? And on the contrary, like, I'm gonna say like 95% of the people that are into that shit, bro, are around that shit, get sucked into that shit, bro.
For sure.
And somehow, some way, your stubbornness to this day, you know, kept you from falling off that deep end with all that shit, bro.
I give props to my dad, bro. Like, you know, like I said, Dad really, like, he set me on the path to kind of change my mentality a little bit about things. If my dad probably wouldn't have been around, or my dad probably would have just let me do my thing like I wanted to you know, I probably maybe would have. But like, you know, my dad forced me to get my GED. My dad got me my first job, like, besides the pet store, my dad got me the first job that I had that was that ended up being my career, bro. Like, you know, I'm still doing that. I'm still in that industry to this day, 20 years later. You know, my dad worked at a spot and he called up his old supervisor, and 18 years old, they just gave me a fucking chance and I worked up from there. You know what I mean? And I always kind of took that like as a sign that, you know, like as a sign of appreciation for my dad, because even though he wasn't there, he made up for it. And after a while, I gave into it. You know what I mean? I gave into his will of trying to make my life better, you know?
Because he knew everything that he was doing wrong, and you being his only son, he didn't want to see you going down that road. I mean, by the time you moved in with your mom and Dildo Man, I mean, what was of course, all that weird shit, but I remember your brother Daniel speaking on it, like, you would be lucky to find a fucking Triscuit in the refrigerator.
Oh yeah, man. Like, especially at that pad, like, my brother had to deal with a lot more shit than I had to do, because like I said, this type of reality didn't really sink into me until I was like 13 or 14. But my brother was born into it, you know what I mean? So he adapted to this lifestyle. I mean, you remember the layout of that pad, his fucking bedroom was the fucking front entrance of the house with the fucking curtain up, you know what I mean? So he was just right in the middle of the fucking front of the house, you know what I mean? And, you know, so, yeah, man, I think because it kind of hit me a little bit later in my life, I was able to adapt positively to it rather than take on the negative side of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, 100%, bro. And congrats to you on that, my G, for somehow, some way digging deep and being able to get yourself through that, and just having the mental strength to look at yourself to be better than the current situation that you were in, and keep doing what you're doing, which was working and pushing forward. So let's do it like this. So you get, the time comes where you move out of that place. Your pops passes on. Rest in peace to your pops. You have a fallout with his side, with the family, grandma, aunt, everybody else. They want to move the sister, the daughter in, and give you an ultimatum type of shit, whatever. You give the ultimatum, and so you move forward. You're working with your career, and you find a female. Am I moving too forward? Too fast?
Well, so all of that shit happened. I already had kids by this point when all that shit happened.
Okay.
You know, so all of that fallout with my pops passed. My dad got to meet his grandkids. My dad was involved with his grandkids. So, you know, there was a lot of positivity with that. He was happy to be a grandpa. So, yeah. So like the back and forth. So my dad passed away in 2016. That was 4 years ago, bro. I'm 38, you know, so that was when I was 34, you know, so there's still, you know, between 16 and 34, there were still years of, you know, shit going on with my mom, but at this point, like you said, I was already maintaining a normal job. When I was 21, I met somebody at my job. We ended up getting together, and we had 2 kids together, and she had 2 kids. So I was a stepdad and a dad at the same time when I was 21. She was 8 years older than me, you know. So we were together for like 10 years. And that's kind of like around the time where me and you kind of like took fucking turn from each other, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I was going in and out of prison. I was gone, you know.
Yeah. So you know, so I did the family life for like 10 years. And I'm all about the family life now, you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of things I regret, you know, about, I mean, not regret, but there's a lot of things that I could do better when it comes to the family life with my kids. They're teenagers now, you know, they're 15 and 13. And, you know, I could probably be a little bit more involved, but they know I'm not absent either, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's one of those, like, I try to balance letting them do their own thing with Pops, and you know what I mean? They live with their mom. They're still in Eagle Rock and all that.
I remember I got out of prison one time and I was with an ex of mine and we linked up somehow, some way. And I remember going to your apartment that you had with your ex. You had your sons, and I remember just seeing you, bro. It had been a few years. I mean, since the dildo man years and shit. You know what I mean? Of you being in that room down there, me going there and fucking cops fucking following me, chasing me.
Yeah,
you know, I don't want to get into
too far into it. Me and Ronnie were talking about that the other day. You know, I remember, you know, just quickly, like that time where fucking the cops were surrounding the fucking dildo man's pad, and you know, you were doing your thing, whatever. You know, we're not going to get into all of that, but you know, I had to call 911 and tell them that you were down there at Home Dude's pad. And we were talking about that the other day on Messenger, and it's just kind of like, man, like the stupid shit that, you know, I got myself into. You know?
I mean, the tactics to get away from the cops, you know what I mean? And,
this guy was the fucking, you know, you got the name, right? You got away. You got away a lot. Not all the time, obviously, but you got away a lot.
You know, I've gotten, I mean, I was in the knee deep into the everything, the surrounding elements. And you know, I always talked about when I was in the hood, I was never coming off the bench. I was always part of the starting five, you know what I mean? And, you know, motherfuckers, you know, they knew the name of the neighborhood. They knew who the fuck, you know, motherfucker was and shit. I'm not trying to toot my own horn because I'm not that no more, but I'm just trying to say that I was never half-stepping when it came to all that shit. And I remember that time when we kind of had that situation and we put the phone in the fucking pan of water, you know, and we did, you know, a lot of shit. I don't want to get too deep into that shit, bro.
Right. No, I know. But generally stating it was a fucking situation.
Yeah.
You know.
But anyways, bro, fucking I remember getting out this one time. I was with an ex, and I remember we went to your house, your apartment that you had in Eagle Rock, and you had you're with the girl at the time that you had with your sons that had the two other kids. You know, and I remember just catching the vibe with you, bro. I was just like, it was like you were kind of happy to see me, but you felt a little standoffish just because you knew what I brought to the fucking table, which was absolutely chaos. Yeah, I'd bring chaos to the fucking table, you know what I mean? So I respected that, but I always had so much love and admiration for you throughout the years, for you just somehow, some way sticking to your guns and not getting sucked into the fucking cycle of fucking chaos and shit. And I always respected you for that, bro. But I remember feeling that fucking vibe when I went to you, and I was just like, damn, I felt like fucked up almost, dog, you know what I mean? And I don't know if you were actually feeling like that, but that's just the vibe that I got from you, you know what I mean? That you were just like, all right, that's cool, this fool's over here, we chilling, but we know what Lucky brings to the fucking...
Yeah, I think you wanted some help with some fucking computer program, and I had a newer computer at the time, so I thought maybe I could help you with it. And that's one thing, like, you were a fucking good homie to me, bro. Like, regardless of what happened, regardless of what shit was, like, I wanted you to know that even though I maybe wasn't going to have your back as far as shit that I may have done for you or done with you in the past,
yeah,
that you could still probably count on me for something, at least, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. I think that's kind of
and I get that, and I respect it.
But I wasn't going to open up fully to just being like, yeah, let's do whatever.
Let's get back to where we were at.
Yeah.
100%, because here I am, a dude out the penitentiary, you know, and here we are. This dude has been through all this shit. He built a fucking family. He's got sons. I mean, everybody knew about you with your sons. I mean, these dudes were like basketball stars in the Eagle Rock area and shit, dog. And they knew, and you were like, this dude this dude been through all this shit, and here he is now coaching. He's coaching basketball, young kids. Like this dude is now, all the shit he been through, now he's a mentor to kids. He's a coach. If you're a coach, you're a fucking mentor. You're setting the example. You're saying, this is what you do, this is what you don't do. I mean, I think when it comes to being a coach, not only are you telling these motherfuckers, you telling these kids how to play, or how to, the plays of the play and how we're gonna win this game, but at the same time, you teach them stuff outside of that as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of started actually like with the coaching. I wasn't really ready to be a coach, bro, but like it kind of fell into my lap with my ex. Like we said, we had 2 older kids, and I remember one time, bro, we were at the park, and little homie, he was like 8 years old or whatever. My stepson Miguel, he was like 8, 9 years old or something like that, and dude had fucking talent, bro. We went to the park, and dude was fast. He can make his fucking layups. He was like fucking. He had his little swag about him and this and that. I said, bro, have you ever played basketball before? And he said, no, my dad only wanted me to play soccer. You know, so on the spot, bro, I was like, we're at Yosemite Park, and I was like, let's go into this fucking office right now and see. I know they got basketball here. They just opened up that gym. It was like the year they opened up the gym or whatever. So I went in there and I was like, hey, you know, when's basketball season start? And they were like, well, we already did signups, we already picked our teams, but if you'll coach, we can put your boy on a team. And, you know, little dude was so good at basketball that I was kind of like at the situation where if he's telling me dad never did this to me, I better fucking do this for him. You know what I mean? If I want to gain his fucking, like, I mean, I don't want to say love, but I mean, if you want to gain his fucking respect or whatever. So yeah, that's how I started. I didn't know shit about basketball. All I knew about basketball was I would play pickup games. I wasn't like, I didn't know plays. I didn't know zone defenses. I didn't know shit. So I actually like, I said, fuck it, dude, I'll fucking coach, bro. And it went from there. I mean, it went from there. He was 9 years old. He's 27 now, bro.
Wow. That's crazy, bro.
You know, he's 27
Time motherfucking
now.
Flies, dog.
You know?
And this is your stepson, right?
Yeah, that's Miguel. That's my stepson. So
Do you still have a relationship with him?
Not really. Not really like a relationship where I can say like we kick it or we talk or this or that, but definitely like a respectful relationship where if I'm going to pick up my boys and he's around the pad, he's going to stop and talk to me.
Yeah, he's going to holler at you.
He's going to holler at me and I'm going to holler at him, you know. So yeah, you know, I mean, the way that whole thing like played out at the end was kind of like it didn't really leave a lot of room for a good relationship with them, because
with your ex it ended bad.
Yeah, I mean, it ended bad, and it wasn't really an environment where we were gonna stay in touch. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, and when something ends bad, I mean, it's hard for young kids growing into their adult life if they were never no stability and to maintain a healthy relationship. I mean, has that affected you through your life, growing up with such an unstable life that it's hard for you to maintain relationships, or have you just learned by your mistakes along the way?
I think it's kind of made me, in a way, a little bit more willing to put up with shit in relationships. In a sense, like especially with my ex, with my kid's mom, like there was a lot of shit in that relationship that I felt like if it would have happened to me today, I wouldn't put up with it. But because it happened to me when I was 21 and I was just looking for some sort of acceptance and normalcy in my life at that point in time, that I put up with it. You know what I mean? Like her whole thing was like I said, me and my dad bonded over like Dodger games and shit like that. She wouldn't even let me go to a Dodger game with my dad, bro.
Wow,
she was so
controlling.
fucking jealous and fucking controlling, right?
Yeah, wow.
So there was shit that I no doubt that I would never put up with again. But I think like it was a good situation for me to kind of like, I felt the need to be a parent. I don't know. Like I always, like my kids were not accidents. My kids were not accidents. They weren't surprises. They weren't mistakes. They weren't like resented at all. I wanted kids when I was in my early 20s because I wanted to break the cycle in a sense. You know what I mean? Like I wanted a way to try and break the cycle.
Let that shit breathe for a minute. You know what I mean? Breaking the cycle. Sometimes we got to break the fucking cycle. I mean, I'm trying to break the cycle to this day. I mean, even with my 21-year-old son, shout out to my boy Jules. We're on shaky grounds again, but it will get better again, you know. But I always talk to my son, like, bro, like what you're doing, dog, that's not cool. Like, well, you got to be smarter than me.
Right.
You got to be smarter than me. You know I wasn't there. I was in prison, blah, blah, blah. Your mom brought you up in a fucked up ass environment. You know, we have to break the cycle. We have to be smarter. A part of having this podcast is really putting it out there in the universe to people that are watching this right now. Break the fucking cycle. You know, break the cycle. We can be better. We can be smarter. We should have, dreams. And when you have dreams, it shouldn't just be left in a fucking dream, bro. Like your 2 feet are working, your arms are working. You know what I mean? You don't have no disabilities. Like, bro, go for that shit. Reach for the fucking stars and shit. Break the fucking cycle. You know. And right now, what I'm doing right now, bro, with my life is I'm breaking my own cycle. You know, I've broken my own cycle of in and out in prison. I'm addicted to the streets. You know what I mean? When you're addicted to the streets, you're addicted to all the elements. You know, that was the hardest thing for me, is to kick the streets. You know,
it wasn't the drugs, right?
It wasn't the drugs.
It was the environment.
It was the environment. It was the streets. It was the lifestyle of breaking that fucking cycle. I mean, do you trip when you see me now?
You know what, bro? Like, I always had like an admiration for you. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I always felt like you were underappreciated back in those days. Like, I felt your shit back in those days. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I would bump your shit. You know what I mean? I might have been the only motherfucker bumping your shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, I went to go. I mean, I don't know if you. I went to go see you. I think it was out here, in this area. We went to one of your shows. The homeboy was with me too. The homeboy Eric, who's commenting right now, and my ex. And like, I think that was after you came out or before you went in.
Yeah.
And like, I always felt like some sort of need to support, you know, whichever way I could. You know what I mean? Need to support, like,
show some love back to your boy right here.
Like, show some love back to my boy. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not a public figure. You know what I mean? So I can't really give you anything, you know, as far as a following goes. You know what I mean? And as you see today, I mean, I've been looking here and there at the comments. I got a few people in here that you wouldn't have had without me. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
no, 100%, bro.
I appreciate that. You know, like, I appreciate the people that are here to hear this and this and that. But like, homeboy is like, he's a real fucking person that, I mean, you're a real fucking person that came through and, like, you know, made an impact on my fucking life back in those days, whether it was positive or negative or whatever. It changed the course of my fucking life. You know what I mean?
You know what? I've always felt indebted to you, in debt to you. I might not be saying the word for you, but I always feel like, to this day, bro, like, because I remember back and then, I mean, sometimes you'd be working, I'd be like, hey, bro, help me out with this shit, and I get you back, and I think about sometimes.
He never got me back.
Yeah, no, never, dog. You know what I mean? And that's why I have a little bit of guilt when it comes to you, dog. You know what I mean? In regards to just them days, because I remember them days. You had my back 100%, bro. And sometimes I put you in some fucked up ass situations, dog. Yeah. Some horrible situations that no dude wanted. But and what did he do? This dude rode with me. You know what I mean? This dude, you rode with me 100%.
Hey, I would stay up all motherfucking night without tweaking, just to chill with this dude. You know what I mean? It'd be 4 a.m. and these fools are fucking doing their thing, and I'm just like, fuck it, give me a monster or some shit. You know what I mean?
And that's crazy, bro. You know, and I always like, I mean, I admire you as an individual, and I always think about, like, when we don't talk, you know what I mean? I always think about you like, damn, you know what I mean? I wish my boy would be a part of my life now, you know what I mean? So, yeah, go ahead, dog. Yeah. But anyways, shout out to everybody that's tapped in right now. This dude's gonna take another leak and shit, you know? John Wayne, everybody tapping in, John McHugh. Shout out to Shooter. I know his wife was on here. Donna was on here right now. Shout out to my boy Shooter. He's fighting a case right now. His mom had reached out to me, wanted to give him a shout out. You know what I mean? And you know, shout out always. I mean, that's, to me, that's like, I mean, I can give him more than a shout out, you know. But anyways, CPT for life. What up, Lux? Much love and respect. Thank you, brother. Truth teller. Scotty seems like the true homie. Like, he is, bro. He's 100% loyal, dog. And I've always felt indebted to him because he would look out for me and he helped me with shit. You know what I mean? And I left him hanging. and a few times, and hopefully after this podcast, we can get back to a different chapter in our life, which I am now. You know, straight plain modern warfare while seeing this too. Shout out to Daisy. Yeah, free the solid always. We always want to free the solid. Nothing but love, Lucky, nothing but love. Yes, John Wayne. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you guys. You know what I mean? Still hanging in right here with us. We're 2.5 hours into this. But as you are in your current situation in life, bro, like what I mean, you, like, when people see you, bro, when they see you, they see a dude with long hair. They see a dude with a fucking the best beard in the fucking world. You know what I mean? This dude has got the best beard in the world. I'm jealous because I can't grow one like that. And if I did, I'd be sitting right here with that shit down on my fucking nutsack right now. What do you do? Who are you now, bro? After all of this, bro?
Bro, I'm not done yet. You know, like,
let's go.
I mean, where I'm at right now is nowhere near where I want to be. You know what I mean? I've survived, I've maintained, but you know, just, you know, the effects. I'm not gonna blame it on my upbringing. I'm not gonna, because I've obviously, like you said, I've maintained a job. I've been in the same industry for 20 years. I've moved my way up and blah 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 blah. Like, whatever. That's not the point of today, you know. But like, as much as I feel like I've overcome shit in my life, I feel like I haven't even made a dent in what I'm supposed to be doing with my life. You know what I mean?
And
like,
what is that, brother?
I mean, just getting shit together, like owning a home and fucking getting off my ass and getting out, you know what I mean? Just making the next step in my life feel like it's a positive environment. I'm not happy where I'm at right now. I mean, I'm happy where I'm at right now. I'm not going to say because I'm not happy with my situation, with the people in my situation. I'm happy with the people in my situation right now. But like, I'm not satisfied with what I have to show for it. You know what I mean? Like, so that's what kind of where I'm at right now. You know, I feel like 20 years on the grind with one industry, you should be doing a little bit better with your life. You know what I mean? Than I am right now. So I'm kind of not satisfied.
So what's the next step to get you satisfied? And I mean, do you need a raise? Do you need to go to school to get that raise? Do you need to switch occupations? Like, what would be your assessment on yourself?
I would say the most important thing I would think would be a raise, bro. You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like switching occupations is really the necessary move right now, because with the occupation that I'm in right now, I feel like it's so niche that, like, I could go to any company and probably find a job that's in this niche. You know what I mean? They're not going to be like, they're going to see me and be like, oh, somebody with 20 years of experience with manufacturing, quality, and sales and engineering. Like, that's like fucking quadruple whammy. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Some people can run a machine, but they don't know how to design. You know what I mean? And I know how to do both. You know. And
so for the people that are curious on knowing what you do, what exactly do you do?
Right now, I'm considered a design engineer for a custom cable manufacturer. So we're talking about stuff like aerospace and defense mostly. So like, one of our biggest customers will be like SpaceX. So every time SpaceX makes a launch, it has our shit in it. Our cables are in it. SpaceX is not my account, but I'm just saying, like, that's an example. The other thing would be like, every fucking missile that the United States launches, whether I agree with it or not, because I generally do not, but we have something to do with that in a down the line, you know, whether it's our wire, whether it's our cable, whether it's our something. We didn't build the missile, but we provided the electronics to go behind it. You know what I mean?
What you guys know about that shit right there, dog? Yeah, I mean, that's something, bro. I mean, this dude, for where he came, and he is behind that right there, bro, is fucking amazing, brother.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, you are built different. You're a special fucking dude, dog. You are the absolute definition of a diamond in the rough, brother. You know what I mean?
Appreciate it.
Bro, I love you so much, dog. You know what I mean? Like, bro, from when you talk about what you're doing right here is fucking amazing, dog. You know what I mean? And just in the climate that we're in right now, bro, Well, I mean, what are your thoughts the climate that we're in right now? You know, I mean, this year has been fucking nuts, dog. You know what I mean? I mean, do you have any thing to say about that? Any part of it?
I mean, as far as what we're going through, as far as fucking COVID goes, bro, like, I mean, as much as we all want it to be fucking over with so we can just go back to normal, I respect it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not scared of it. I'm not like paranoid about it. But, you know, we got to wash our hands. We got to wear a mask. You know, I'm not fucking wearing a mask today, but, you know, whatever. Like, but as far as like I mean, yeah, man, I do have very, like, that's one of the things that I've kicked around is becoming more of an activist for stuff. You know what I mean? Because I do have very strong feelings about some of the stuff that's going on with police and with politicians and with all of that, you know. So I do have some very strong beliefs in that, you know.
Yeah, most definitely. You know, and you'd like to. I mean, did you ever get out there when? When initially all the BLM movement was going on in downtown LA, did you ever get to any of those protests or anything?
I did not go out to the protests, bro. At that point, I was a little bit paranoid about what was going on with COVID. Yeah. So I didn't want to like put myself out there like that as much. But I definitely, you know, I would call myself sort of like a hybrid. I do believe that Black Lives Matter. I do believe that police brutality is real. I do believe, because my father was a victim of police brutality. You know, my father got his arm broke and by the police when I was younger, or maybe even before I was fucking born, but I'm pretty sure when I was younger. And they let him go because they didn't want to write the report on how they broke his fucking arm. So, and then, you know, when it comes to like immigration, my fucking uncle, my dad, they were deported every time they got out of jail, even though they were born and raised here. And that shit happened under Obama. You know, as much as I can say that I'm a fucking, you want to call me a fucking liberal because I believe that, you know, Black Lives Matter and that I believe in, you know, I'm not transphobic and I'm not homophobic and I believe in all that shit. I have real issues with immigration laws, and I have real issues with you know, with this current regime of leadership that we have in our country. Like, I there's no way in hell that I could sit here and say like this is the way it should be. You know what I mean? Like, so there's definitely like some strong feelings there, and I think a lot of that, like you said, it did come from my work as being a volunteer with kids, that I feel like there's more to be done there. You know what I mean? Like, there's a part of me that does want to go back to school and to like maybe take some stuff in like some political science and maybe like, you know, run some sort of activism group or run some kind of like after school program for kids or something like that.
I think you'd be the perfect dude for that, dog. I mean, after you're, you know, how long did you coach for, bro?
I'm still, I mean, if it wasn't for COVID, I'd still be coaching right now.
So you're still coaching to this day?
Yeah, I mean, my son is 15 and my younger son is 13. So I mean, as far as recreation goes, they would be, my older son would be done this year, but my younger son would still have 2 years left. And then my girl has an 8-year-old daughter who we're trying to steadily get into the scene too. So I'm ready to keep going as much as I can. I do love coaching. I love being around kids. I love interacting with the parents. You know, so that's one thing that I always felt like I could probably parlay into some sort of like group activism or something like that. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
most. I mean, when it comes to like back to coaching, bro. When it comes, I mean, there are a lot of coaches. I mean, I don't know for a fact, but I'm gonna assume that a lot of coaches come from strong family backgrounds, that they were taught from, you know, family of how to lead, how to this, how to that.
Or even people that just grew up playing sports like that, you know, and they realize how to coach. Because I mean, if we're talking rec, right? Like I'd still, like my stepdad, like I said, he put me in baseball, but I never coached basketball. I never played organized basketball, never. You know what I mean? So.
But I'm just saying, like, what do you, when it comes to dealing with these kids, you know what I mean? There's kids from all different family ranges in regards to whatever they're going through. And so sometimes you might see a kid that has potential, but he's not given his best ability, you know what I mean? I mean, what has taught you to be that mentor, to be that coach, to lead, because you're obviously being a leader. You're being something very important in their young life, and you never had that. Where do you get that from?
I think that's it. I think it's because I never had it, you know, and I realized that, you know, I was always the type of coach that if there was a kid that I would recognize would show up to every practice with Vans on, I would be at practice. I mean, I remember one time specifically, there was a couple of times where I did this, but I remember one time specifically that this kid was embarrassed because he would always show up to practice with Vans on and everybody else had their Kobe's and their LeBrons and their whoop-de-whoops or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
And he was a badass little player. So what did I do? I text my girl, my ex-girl, and I said, hey, go down to Ross and just find a $40 pair of basketball shoes, size 9. You know, whatever it is, just 40, 50 bucks. Doesn't matter what color they are, doesn't matter anything, just as long as they're Nike or Reebok, go down to Ross and buy them a little for. And so I've always been that guy that kind of saw myself in people that were struggling with poverty. You know what I mean? I think poverty was the main thing that that caught my attention. I could recognize maybe some more emotional like distresses that were going on in kids' lives because I went through that as well. But I think one of the things that kind of like drove me was to make sure that just because somebody didn't have the means to participate the way they wanted to means that they shouldn't participate at all. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So I always took that like, later on, you know, like probably 6 years or so into coaching, I started coaching a AAU team. So it was more like high level, like we were selective. It wasn't like, this is the park, whoever's on your team is on your team. You know, it was like we were selecting kids to go onto our team.
Yeah.
And that was kind of like the whole thing with our team was we were the type of team that would have like 7 or 8 kids in one fucking Suburban going to the games. You know what I mean? We weren't like, and we were playing kids where their fucking parents were showing up with Mercedes and fucking Jaguars and this and that. We were going out to like the Valley and playing these fucking little bougie ass kids. And we were showing up in one fucking thing with a pack of Gatorades and fucking mismatched uniforms, but we were out there to rock. And that's kind of like, I didn't want to be like those other people. I wanted to take what I had available to me and try and make a fucking a change with that, you know?
God damn it, homie. God damn it. This dude right here. I want you guys all to follow him at Scotty 2 times, man. Show your love, show your support to him. I mean, this dude right here, he's you know what? Everything that he's done and all the words that he says right now does not surprise me because who he was back then is who he is now. You know, some people just never change. You know what I mean? And even when he was in that environment back then, he was still this same dude right here, just a humble fucking straight up dude. Like if you asked him a question, he was gonna talk to you straight. There's some people that you ask them a question and then you gotta fucking decipher what is real and what's not real. And one thing I always respected about this dude right here is that he has always talked to me fucking straight. And sometimes it wasn't a two-way street sometimes because I was fucking caught up in my own motherfucking shit. And sometimes I feel bad because sometimes the closest people to you, sometimes you use them to a certain extent. You know what I mean? You use them to meet your agenda, to get what you fucking want. You know what I mean? And I think there was at times that I possibly put that upon this dude right here. And that's why I feel like I've always been deeply in debt to this dude. And I apologize about who I was back then, but who I am now, bro, is something different, dog. You know what I mean? And I like you to be a part of because I know you don't have a big family, bro. You know what I mean? You're kind of like me. You know what I mean? We just got what we got, right?
I have a big family, but I don't utilize it.
Exactly. No, that's what I'm saying, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you and I have a family that is very dysfunctional and nobody talks, and it's bad, you know what I mean? It's not good, and it's not necessarily bad on me, but it's bad on my kids, you know? Like me, I can be like, fuck it, I can do without that shit, you know what I mean? All right, fuck it. You want to be like this, I'm going to be like that, you know what I mean? But Daisy Lopez, that's what's up, Lucky. Yeah, hell yeah, love. I am playing model again, fucking homie.
Shout out to my son. I see you there, boy. I see you there, Ed Ned. This is Sean. That's my youngest son right there.
Shout out to Sean. Hell
I see
yeah.
you, son.
Yes, sir.
And I want you and your brother to know, I don't know if your brother's watching this or not, but I know that I've been, you know, as much as Lucky has hyped me up today as being this person, I know I could do more for you guys. You know, it's tough out there, but I love you guys, okay? I want you guys to know that.
I mean,
okay?
check it out, bro. It's not the hype, bro, but it's always like, they may not 100% understand what you've been through.
Yeah, they don't.
Have you been candid with your kids on like just like what they've heard today? And I know we didn't really get into the nitty gritty of it. We went through it as much as we possibly can. I mean, with me interviewing you, bro, but there still was so much shit that's left out. I know, cause I know you, bro. You know what I mean? But you know, is all we can do. I mean, if they can understand, they can hear you right now. If my kids can hear me from here after this, that were with me at bad times, like, you know, people go through stuff, and sometimes it takes a while to overcome those fucking obstacles that were presented at such a young age in life, you know. But if you bear with the motherfucker, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, it's gonna get better.
It's gonna get better. You know, that's my thing. You know, it's always been trying to preach, like, you know, there's always gonna be a sacrifice to get to what you want. You know what I mean? There's always gonna be. It's not just gonna one day you're just gonna be fucking set with your life. There's gonna have to be something that you give up to get to that point. You know what I mean? So, you know, that's kind of what I try and instill in them. I haven't really been too 100% candid about everything, because I don't want to throw their grandma and their grandpa under the bus like that.
Do they have relations with them, with grandma?
With grandma, yeah, they do. I mean, mom lives in Washington, so it's not like a let me hang out with you every day type of relationship. But mom was, even though, you know, shit wasn't exactly the way we wanted it to be back in those days, mom was the 100% babysitter, free of charge. You ain't gonna tell me to charge you anything type of, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
which is always helpful.
Which is always helpful. So yeah, they did have all of that relationship with my mom growing up, but it was hard because mom, like we said, mom wasn't always 100% grandma material. You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah. And hold on real quick, because I want to end it right now, but I got to take a leak one more time. If you guys have any questions to ask Scott, ask him right now while he sits there. Let me take a leak, and then we're going to wrap this up.
Word up. I see you. I'm guessing that's Pauline. It's probably not Joey, but what's up, cuz? I see you. I see my auntie too. Thank you guys. Will, I see you. Yeah, I know. Good times, man. I was always the oldest one. Will, you know, it was hard for me. I couldn't really beat you guys up the way I wanted to, because I was always the oldest one. That was a tough crowd, being four or 5 years older than everybody. But it's always funny to look back at some of those family pictures that we have together, and you know, there's a tall ass white dude in the middle of all you brown boys, you brown kids. But I embrace it, man. I embrace it. You know, I feel like the opportunity that I had to grow up into, you know, with my family and you guys as my main family, you know, really did a good benefit for me, you know. Did your dad know about all this stuff? You know, your dad wasn't the most innocent person in the world either. I'm sure you realize that. I'm not sure how much you really realized that or not. But I don't know how much he actually knew about the day-to-day life. But he did, you know, try to make an effort to have me around you guys. I don't know if you remember, like, back when I was, you know, in the 12, 13, 11-year-old range, I would spend a lot of time sometimes up in Palmdale with you guys. And I think it has to do with that. What's up, Noah? I see you there, man. Who's your brother you spoke about who was on an earlier podcast? My brother's OGDL. Check out his YouTube channel. He's an up-and-coming rapper from the Northeast LA area. He's a good dude. He's a good rapper. OGDL is his name. He's got a few bangers out there, and you know, he's definitely somebody that you could follow and keep up with his music. Follow him on Instagram and all that stuff. He's been on this podcast. He was on like episode 5 or 6. You can check him out on this podcast also. Go give a like on Lucky's on that video. But yeah, definitely check him out, Ricky.
Yeah, and everybody that's on right now, I know we're kind of like dwindling down. You know what I mean? It's fucking Sunday. Who's your brother? Oh, okay, you already spoken that. Yeah. But anyways, hit the like, hit the subscribe button, share. I appreciate everybody that donated. I want to ask you this though, bro. If you were to send your pops a message right now, what would you tell him right now?
If I could send my pops a message right now, I would tell him that the way things ended for him was not the way that I wanted things to end for him. I wanted to really fulfill his dying wish, and take care of what he really wanted, where his final resting place was going to be. And if I'm going to throw a fucking major plot twist into this thing, when I get my shit together and I see that I have my uncle in here, and I see that I have a couple of cousins in here, and I see that I have a couple of aunts in here, I want you guys to know that, you know, there may come a day when grandma's no longer here, that I decide that I'm going to do what I was supposed to do with my dad, because I always have the option to take him out of where he's at right now, because I am the owner of his ashes. So there's a plot twist for you, but, you know, don't blame it on me. It's his dying wish.
Yeah, 100%. You got to respect the man's dying wish. A message to your little brother that was amongst all this. I mean, of course, he's flourishing. The boy is fucking talented. I see that dude, and he's just fucking, he's just a star in the sky. You know what I mean? This dude is fucking something special. OGDL, you know what I mean? Daniel, what would you say to him right now? You know, message to Daniel, dog.
Message to my brother. You know, it's kind of rough when it comes to my brother, bro. I feel like my brother doesn't really appreciate what I tried to do for him as a kid. Today, I think he appreciated it then, but today I think he's kind of lost sight of that, of what everything that I tried to do for him back in those days. So I want to tell, you know, to my brother, you know, while I support you and I want to be there for your eventual, you know, rise up into stardom, I want you to remember, don't forget where you came from. You know, don't forget where you came from. Don't forget who had your back when you were a 7-year-old little kid that smelled like cigarette smoke and would take you to do your fucking laundry, basic shit. You know, I may not be able to give you, you know, $1 million to get your fucking shit going off the ground, but, you know, there's a big difference between a 20-year-old dude trying to fucking take care of his little brother and you know, now you're a 24-year-old man, you know. So I would say, you know, just remember where you came from, bro, because shit was tough for both of us, more tough for you than it was for me. But, you know, I tried to make the best out of our situation for you, you know.
Amen to that, brother. And to throw mom out there right now, we told mom when she was with the fucking one-tooth meat eater and fucking dildo man, and she just has been through the fucking ringer in life herself, you know what I mean? Let's speak on where mom's at right now. Where's mom at right now, bro?
Mom is in a good place, man. I'm really proud of mom. You know what I mean? Like, mom has been clean now for several years. She really made a positive change in her life when she moved up to Washington. I have a lot of family up in Washington, like I mentioned earlier on in the story, where I would spend summers up there. Kind of, you know, everybody, I mean, not everybody, but a lot of that side of my family, kind of the aunts and uncles and mom and shit all kind of went out there. So I would say to my mom, I'm very proud of the progress you've made in your life. I'm very proud of you being able to become a leader and a supervisor in your job and holding down everything that you've been doing. And I'm very happy that you're in a point in your life where we can all kind of benefit from your stability. You know.
Stability, man.
Stability. Yeah, I don't care if you're a millionaire. I don't care if you're, you know, I'm not looking for financial support from anybody, but I want my people to be stable in their life to where they don't need, you know, food and shelter and clothes and shit like that. And that's a big thing to me, you know, that I see her as somebody who made it through, you know what I mean? Regardless of what the situation is now, she made it through that environment and she's overcome and made a big, you know, transformation. So I respect that.
Ooh, shout out to moms. Shout out to Diane for doing your thing, girl. You know what I mean? Keep staying strong and prosper. Love life, live life. I always see you on my Instagram posting all your artwork and your new tattoos to this day. She's always posting her new tattoos. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she's always getting new tattoos.
She always got a little cool.
She's always got her, you know, and shout out to moms too. You know, like she's an artist. On top of just being a regular person that has a job and this and that, she's an artist, and a lot of her ink is her own artwork. It's not just somebody else's artwork. So I give her props for that too. You know, like.
Yeah, I remember back in the day, she used to make these garments, like these rubber band garments, weird shit, bro, like complex shit, bro. You know what I mean? Out of rubber bands, correct?
Yeah, it was like rubber bands or like rubber tubing that she would cut into rubber band lengths, you know, and connect them with metal behind closed doors. I think her Facebook got fucking shut down.
Is that right?
She was posting some shit on Facebook. I don't have Facebook. Like I do have Facebook, but I don't get on Facebook all the time because I think it's fucking lame. But like I saw a series of shit on Instagram where she got her Facebook for all her shit got shut down because it was a little bit too risque. But yeah, you know, like we talked about, you know, like it's a little bit on the BDSM side. But that's mom's. Much love and respect. Me and my mom have a much more open relationship than you could say like probably a lot of mom and sons have together, you know. So I give much props to her for finding her passion and just like not giving up. Whether she's a millionaire or just, you know, scraping by with her job, like she's doing what she wants to do, you know.
I mean, stability, dog. Back to that word stability. Without stability, man.
Yes, mom is doing. So everybody, she wants to be known. That's the thing about my mom. She wants you to know who she is. There she is. Yes, mom is doing good these days.
Yeah, Diane Leo, that's her right there.
Her
Emilio
right there.
Zapata, what up, my G? But I mean, stability is just fucking huge. I mean, so many years of my life, I was just swimming in the ocean, you know what I mean? Could never get my footing right, you know, just getting knocked down by wave after wave, just like yourself, bro. You know, and to finally be in this point in my life where I have stability is, I mean, I sleep good at night. The bills are gonna get paid.
Some quicker than others, but whatever.
Yeah, you know, like I have really like the way I was strong and the way you have been strong, you know, throughout the weathering the storm, bro, you know. It just takes a certain individual, but it can be any one of us. You know what I mean? You just have to, if there's a will, there's a way. You really, really have to, shout out to Colorado. I see you right there. You know what I mean? I ain't leaving you out. Shout out to, who's that? Jorge. Yeah, shout out to Colorado. Everybody touching in right here.
I mean, anybody who's out there like struggling and they might be in a similar situation, or maybe, you know, it might not be an exact similar situation to what I went through. You know, it just takes a strong will to not let yourself go further and further down that path. And it takes a lot of, it takes willpower, man. And if you're going to let yourself go down that path because you think it's the cool fucking thing to do, you're going to suffer the fucking consequences of it later on. And if you want to just, you know, man up and be like, hey, this is not what, if it's what you want, it's what you fucking want. I ain't nobody to tell you to not do what you fucking want to do. You know, you want to fucking smoke meth, you want to be fucking, you know, doing this, the tweaker shuffle, that's on you. That's your fucking life. But like, if you really don't want to be in that situation and there's anybody listening to this, just know that like, you know, you have options, you have people that are there for support, and you got to reach out to those people. You know, it might not be me, it might not be Luck, it might be somebody you know on a more personal level, but you can't be afraid to reach out first. You know,
for help. For help,
you know,
yeah.
You're waiting for somebody to save you, but you're afraid to ask for help. You know.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna tell you right now. Look at John McHugh. This was an excellent guest, Lucky. People need to hear this content. You know what, bro? I'm gonna tell you this right now. This is one of my favorite podcasts right here. You know what I mean? Because this dude right here, I mean, what you hear is what it is. What you see right here is what it is. This dude is, bro. So you gave your shout outs. Now let me give my shout out to you, bro. You know what I mean? And I may not particularly articulate it 100% the way I want to, bro, but I love you, bro. I mean, you are a powerful human being, bro. You know what I mean? You hold the power. You are just you the way whatever's going on in your head, somehow, some way, you defied the statistics of you following down that fucking path of fucking just fucked up shit. It was all around you, bro. All doors were open. You had a fucking like a green light to get into all of that shit, and for somehow, some way, you chose not to. This dude right here, I mean, Scott, people can learn a lot from him. They can people reach out to you, bro, if they feel like they need to, bro? I mean,
yeah, I mean, right now my social media is private. I'm not really planning on making it public, so I will be a little bit selective on who I choose to accept as my friends. But definitely, you know, if you send me a message on Instagram or something like that, and I see the message, I will read it and I will respond back to you, and I probably will accept you. I might not accept everybody, but like, you know, I definitely, yes, please reach out to me. I want to, you know, share my story in more, if you have more questions for me, or if you want to know like what my mentality was specifically, how I overcame things. Please, by all means, yes. I don't want to sleep on the fact that I could probably maybe help one or two people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no doubt, bro. And when it comes to the mentality of overcoming these things, bro, I know we didn't get in depth to that, but have you ever had any counseling? Have you ever dealt with anxiety that you had to take medication for? Have you ever gone down that road, bro?
No, I haven't had any formal counseling. I'm kind of, like you said, like you know, can you kind of preface this interview with, I'm kind of a reserved dude, so I've kind of learned how to handle shit on my own. I haven't had any counseling. I haven't had any like in-depth look into why things are the way they are for me. All I can say is that I tend to analyze things to the point where I analyze them to the point where I understand them, and I've come to peace with the things that I can change, and I come to peace with things that I can't change. You know what I mean? Like right now, I can't change. I can't just leave this podcast today and just, you know, walk into a fucking $1 million home because I feel like it. You know what I mean? But there's steps that it has to be. So I've recognized, you know, that the struggle and the process has to be respected. You know what I mean?
The process has to be respected. We're gonna leave it on that note right there. The process has to be respected. Everybody, I want you to give it up for Scott. Thank you, brother, for blessing this platform. Thank you for opening up, bro, sharing your story. Go ahead. Let's any last questions before we end this right now?
I really didn't think I was gonna make it 2 hours, bro. I was nervous. I was like, how am I gonna talk for 2 hours?
We talked 3 hours and 5 minutes, brother. You know what I mean? Sir is not the place to tell someone that a phone call would be better. Yeah. You know, this man said, plot twist. Yeah, love to everyone who on the top hitting rock bottom. Yeah, for sure. Stay strong. Get through this shit. Where are you from? He's from the Northeast Los Angeles. You know,
East LA, born and raised, still there to this day.
Still there to this day. Yeah.
You see me at Super A on fucking York. Say what's up. You know, I'm there.
Yeah, for sure, dog. Every day is a fighting day, 100%. You did great, Scott. Yeah, he did. He did amazing. This was an amazing podcast. What does that say right there? Also telling someone on YouTube podcast, your dad was not a saint, etc. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. I see it. Nothing but love, nothing but respect. I want everybody to give it up for Scott. Thank you, brother, for blessing the platform.
Appreciate it, bro.
Yeah.